Dominant. In the spoiler's role stands rival Colorado State. Sunnyside has grown accustomed to success. A team concept with everyone buying into the bottom line. Tonight, the sweetest way to start a season lies 60 minutes away. Today, 70,000 Coloradans will pick a side. What was once a lopsided battle for bragging rights has grown into a good old-fashioned brawl. And for the third year in a row, 70,000 plus at Mile High Stadium in Denver, as number 25 Colorado opens the season against the Colorado State Rams. And we welcome you to Denver. I'm Dave Barnett. 3 years in a row now, this is the biggest college game in the state. And it makes you wonder why for a quarter of a century they didn't play each other. This is a rivalry that has outgrown the college campuses. And with the big win by Colorado State last year, is now no longer a one-sided rivalry. Bill Curry, that makes it more fun to watch. Colorado State's difference this year is they don't build around the great senior running back. Kevin McDougal is gone, but the senior quarterback, Matt Newton.
Matt Newton, indeed. And one good definition of leadership is the ability to hide your panic from other people. Great veteran quarterbacks can do that, and Matt Newton is a great veteran quarterback. 1 year ago, he was sacked a grand total of 9 times on the season. He has basically the same O-line back, so we would expect that Matt and his O-line cohorts would be the equalizers in this game against a very talented Colorado team. Now on to my favorite defensive lineman and raconteur, Mike Golick.
Well, that's a word that went right over my head. Colorado has a linebacker that's going to play over everybody's head, Jashawn Sykes. You love linebacker play. This is the man. If you're scoring at home, get ready to write down the number 7 an awful lot. He is all around the ball. He plays in a system where they free him up. He's not blocked an awful lot, so he's allowed to go head hunt, and that's what he does. Not only is he going to stick his helmet right in your chest, he's going to rip the ball out. 7 forced fumbles last year. That led the nation.
Raconteur is a good thing, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. This is a home game for Colorado State, but the Colorado camp is actually closer, and what that means is a very short jaunt for Ralphie, who leads the Buffaloes onto the field. To kick it off here right now, let's end it. Last college football game to be played at Mile High Stadium, the home of the Broncos. They're building a new one next door. It opens next year, and as we get set for the kickoff, let's welcome on the sidelines for us this afternoon, Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Dave. Well, Colorado wrapped up last season with 2 great running performances from Cortland Johnson. 137 yards against Nebraska in the season finale, almost unheard of, and 201 yards against a good Boston College defense in the Inside Bowl. Now, Cortland Johnson is returning this season, but in February, Colorado signed arguably the best high school running back in the nation, Marcus Houston. He's a parade All-American who ran for over 1,700 yards and 23 touchdowns as a high school senior here in Denver, and he's expected to get at least 50% of the snaps today. Now, Johnson is well aware of the competition from the freshman, but he's gone out of his way to help him learn the offense, and he said, hey, there's no reason we can't both have 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Dave?
They would love that. Colorado State had that 2 consecutive years not long ago. Colorado has won the toss and deferred, and the Rams waiting for Jeremy Flores to get us underway. And he kicks to Pete Redstock and Frank Rice. This will be Rice who takes it away from Redstock and picks his way across the 25-yard line. Roderick Sneed makes the tackle, and Matt Newton, the senior quarterback, will lead the Rams onto the field. He's from Englewood, Colorado, second team All-Mountain West last year. With his skill people, Sanders, Woolstenhume, the H-back, Ochoa, the tight end. Alice Davis playing with a bad hip flexor. We'll see how long he can go. Rice at the other wideout. They have a lot of experience in their offensive front. And with that and the senior quarterback, Newton, high expectations again this year in Fort Collins. Right to the air on first down, well protected, but almost intercepted by the middle linebacker, Andy Peak. This offensive line for Colorado State very experienced and big. Show it, Lancaster, Borvansky, Finlayson, and Stuber. Defensively, Jones, Bannon, Jarney, McDonald. A very young Colorado defense. Will Lane goes in motion on 2nd and 10. And the first running play, Rashawn Sanders stopped for a loss. Corey Masoni knifing in from linebacker. Well, starters at the backers, Peak, Sykes, and Walrus. Masoni in for Walrus. And then their secondary, Strickland and Wood, who were high school teammates in San Francisco, Robinson and Brooks. On the entire Buff roster, only 7 seniors. This equals their least experienced roster in school history. Doing okay so far, though. 3rd and 15. Newton on play action. And the tight end Ochoa opened a short gain to the 31. And a 3-and-out series for the Rams.
Colorado's defense set the tempo, but with a lot of help from our veteran quarterback, Matt Newton almost had a disastrous mistake on his very first play from scrimmage. Threw the ball right in the middle linebacker, or rather the weak, strong side linebacker's hands. Andy Peak, he really should have come down with it. Dave, it might have been just like what happened a year ago, except the other way around.
Walk-on Joey Huber. He was really booming them in the thin air yesterday. He takes over the punting duties. Roman Hollowell is back deep and has to come up and call fair catch at the 31-yard line. Only 38 yards on the boot by Huber. Colorado with new starter at quarterback, a sophomore from San Antonio, Texas, Zach Colvin. Great play last year, especially the second half from Mike Machete. He's gone. Johnson gets the start, but as Michelle Toya, he splits time with Houston. The freshman, Nemeth is the fullback, Graham the tight end, Green and Minardi are the wideouts. That is Minardi in motion. They start offset eye and toss to Cortland Johnson, who breaks it across the 42. That might have been a touchdown-saving stop by Adam Wade, as it is a gain of 12 for Cortland Johnson.
Well, we wanted to see how Colorado was going to come out off of last year's game. They're down 28-zip at half. They were coming out like Tyson coming across the ring in the first round. They're going to attack right off the bat. Huge hole made by the offensive line. Johnson right up the field. They're going to attack early. They're going to come off the ball early. After what happened last year, I guarantee you that's in their minds.
Colvin's first pass is caught. Roman Hollowell up the side and knocked out of bounds by Aaron Sprague. Quick offensive start by the Bucks. Up front, they have Ashworth, Bates, Giroud, Alice, and Rogers. Very young there as well. Colorado State up front defensively. Hogan, McKenzie, Bennett, and Grau are the front four. One guy they are missing today, Rick Kroll, who has been granted a 6th year. A medical redshirt last year, but he has to sit this game. A little bit complicated story, but they do not have him for this rivalry matchup. Johnson through the middle is to the 38. And another tackle by the strong safety, Aaron Sprague. So with Kroll not able to go, Doug Held gets the start at his spot. Vickers, a very undersized middle linebacker, 6'0", 211. They love him, though, and Adam Wade, even smaller, 207. Secondary, Gallimore, Lowe, Howell, and Sprague. Second down and 8, Colorado, their first series. After they hold the Rams to 3 and out after the opening kick. Cedric Cormier went in motion. Colvin sprinting out, fires. And down to the 32. Javon Green with the catch. Terrence Gibson with the stop. Gary Barnett last year compared taking over this Colorado program to tugging an old mule. The first 6 games, he encountered nothing but resistance. And after a disappointing blowout loss at Texas Tech, they finally decided to do it his way, and they were terrific the rest of the year. So I was hoping they start at that level in his second year. On 3rd and 2, even with the legs churning, Johnson doesn't get the first down as Mike McKenzie drives him back.
And Mike, this thing about withstanding the Tyson attack early, it looks like Colorado State's settling down just a little bit and playing some defense.
Well, Sonny Lubick said we need to get by the first 4, 5, 6 minutes, then we can settle in. We're right in that 4-minute mark right now, and there's an early shot for Colorado. They want to keep the momentum going. They're going to go for it on 4th down.
Fake was to Johnson. Colvin deep. Back of the end zone and incomplete for John Minardi. John Howell had terrific coverage. So the Buffs move it, but can't convert on the play fake. Well, Buffs try to throw the haymaker early. They go for the deep ball on 4th and 1. They don't get it, and so the Rams will take over now at their 31-yard line. They've each had in the series. Maybe it starts to settle out now.
Good call, I think, by Colorado to go for it.
Oh, they had a very good call. Very good call.
Matt Newton with Rashawn Sanders behind him. Frank Rice in motion, and it is Sanders through the middle for nothing.
Number 38, John Howell, is the defensive captain as elected by his teammates, and you're about to see why. A brilliant call, I think, by Colorado early to try to get a big score. Right here, you see Howell turn and run with his man. He's got him blanketed to the end zone. Excellent defense on a very good play call to keep Colorado from an early score.
Colvin couldn't have thrown a much better pass than that. Newton's pass is complete, and Dallas Davis is wiped out after a gain of 5 by Donald Strickland. He timed his hit perfectly.
It's a nice job by Strickland playing off a little bit. Going to let him make the catch underneath. If ever you let someone make the catch underneath, you've got to make the tackle. He's 8 yards off. Nice back pedal, comes and breaks. That's not letting anybody get the old yak yardage right there. Yards after the catch, he got zipped. Yak yardage, yak yardage. New term.
Rams, not Yaks. 3rd and 2. Joey Kapari in motion, and they get Ochoa, the tight end, to slip over the middle. 3 for the first down to the 48, drag down by the inside backer, Andy Peete.
We're seeing really nice work by the coordinators here, Sean Watson and Steve Fairchild, respectively. That call made by Fairchild, offensive coach for Colorado State. A little wide delay across the middle on 3rd and 2. Almost impossible to stop for less than the first down.
Matt Newton, the orchestrator of the offense. The last 2 years, Colorado State had an experienced senior quarterback. They won double figures each year. 11 with Anthony Hill with 94, 10 with Moses Marino. This deep ball, Rice has it in stride, and he has a touchdown. Yards. Frank Rice beating Nate Wright Jr. 6-0.
Veteran quarterbacks, with very few exceptions, are able to swallow that adrenaline and make touch passes early in the game. Beautiful throw by Matt Newton.
Well, he threw it right out there. Rice just ran right underneath. He just ran right by Nate Wright.
You cannot throw it any better than that.
C.W. Hurst, senior out of Sherman, Texas, adds the extra point. So the Rams withstand the threat the first time the Buffaloes have it. Rams get it back, 52 yards. Newton to Rice, 7 zip.
It ain't over.
Frank Rice, pretty good deep threat. Last year, 28 catches, 6 of them for touchdowns. What a ratio, including a 67-yarder against Colorado. And from 52, he completes a 4-play, 69-yard scoring drive. 7-0 Rams. As Hurst prepares to kick to Roman Hollowell. And he may take too much of an angle here. No, he gets it all the way through the end zone, and the Buffs will start after the touchback at their 20.
Number 25 on number 25 here. Frank Rice on Nate Wright. He who hesitates in the secondary gives up 6, and this is how it happens. You cannot throw a football any better than that, and I can't tell you how difficult that is at this stage in a big game.
Also, look at the middle of the field here, number 9, Robbie Robinson. That's your safety. He can't let anybody pass him. He gets caught up too far. Again, he who hesitates, you had the corner and the free safety hesitating.
One through the middle is stuffed. Doug held, laying in wait, and Cortland Johnson ran right into him. And let's send it down to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, guys, Sonny Lubick told us the key to this game was for his team to withstand Colorado's early charge. I asked him when he'd know if that happened. He said in the first 6 minutes. Well, his team has a 7-0 lead, and I think it's fair to ask, can Colorado withstand the Rams' early charge, guys?
Got to turn that question on its ear, hadn't it? Johnson, a loss of 1. Colvin after the play fake. Nice catch. Daniel Graham, the tight end, had to stretch a bit. Takes it to the 31st down. Let's get an Alabama-UCLA update from Reese Davis.
And guys, Deshaun Foster, who battled so many injuries last year, is just running roughshod through the Tide defense. On 3rd and 3, breaks a couple of tackles and spins his way into the end zone. And UCLA is up 35-24 as they go to the 4th and Rose Bowl.
The Pac-10 fighting back so far this year. USC over Penn State. UCLA leading Bama big. Just under the 8-minute mark, first quarter in Denver. Johnson likes this hole a lot better. Another first down. They're very close to it.
Nice job by Zach Colvin there. An obvious checkoff. He saw something in the defense. He's been given the privilege of calling that little dive, and it was a good call. And nice job by the men up front. Big Giroud there, number 65, the offensive center. All the guys coming off the ball. That's really what Colorado wants to keep going, but they have to score when they get in 3rd and short. They have to score on those 3rd and short, 4th and short situations to keep drives alive.
That's hog football right there. Those linemen getting out there. You see the guard there. He actually went for his man, missed him, but he kept scrambling, went right on through to the linebacker to make that block. I'm also impressed with Zach Colvin and how they're having him throw the ball, Bill. They have him roll out. When they roll out, they give him a little more time. Then they ran the bootleg, try and make him the easy patterns early, build that confidence at this early stage of the game.
He comes up 2 lengths of chain short. Zach Colvin's only other career start was a narrow victory over Iowa State last year, 16-12.
Well, 2nd down and inches certainly opens up the playbook a little bit.
Yeah, don't be surprised to see him go up top here, try to get something big.
Colvin won a very close race to start based on the consistency in preseason practice. Made a few more plays than the junior Bobby Pesavento we may also see. Outside of the eye on 2nd inches, Colvin sneaks it, has the first down and breaks free momentarily, and finally is wrapped up by Justin Gallimore. That's one of the most exciting quarterback sneaks I've ever seen. 2 more games tonight, beginning at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on the ESPN. Number 24 Southern Miss visits number 12 Tennessee, and following us 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific here on ESPN2, Arizona will visit Utah. The midnight scoreboard show will follow the Utes and the Wildcats. Well, from the 44, they give it again up the middle, and Cortland Johnson gouges out a couple in that.
See, I told you, David, that he was going to go for a big play on 2nd and short, so he went to his power back offense and checked it and gave it to himself.
Did you see him checking off there, trying to make off? Yeah, checked off. Call it. It looked like Colorado State stopped, and so he just kept running the ball. They really opened up the playbook there.
And remember, it was the most exciting quarterback sneak that Dave has ever seen.
One of them, right up there. Johnson gets him 3 yards. Hollowell is 5'6", 160 in motion. And over the middle, they find the tight end again, and Daniel Graham We'll have another Colorado first down as he advances into the 44 of Colorado State in the arms of David Vickers.
Again, outside of the long ball over the top on 4th down, they've gone to the tight end now 3 times. The safe calls. Colorado really wants to mix it up, getting away from the all running or all passing they've done in the past. Last year they had a great balance of run and pass, and that's the way Gary Barnett wants to go.
You hear a little extra from the Colorado fans now because the prize freshman recruit, maybe in school history and state history, is checked in. Marcus Houston. And not a very memorable first collegiate carry for the Denver product out of Thomas Jefferson High School here.
Those Rams saw him come in too, David. They all wanted to greet him. Welcome to college football, Marcus.
You got to get that nose stung a little bit that first play. Got to get hit, get the eyes in the water, and then you're ready to go.
Well, he's a tough guy and a wonderful young man. He knows what he's in for. Everybody's going to want to get a piece of it.
Well, that one's a big recruiting battle for the way they feel is the next great back. And the line, where school has produced a lot of them. Colvin, nowhere to go. Sacked at the 47. Chad McGuckin gets there first, the defensive end, and Jamie Bennett's right there with him.
Well, we talked about, again, the tight end, how Colvin has looked for the tight end now 3 times. He does the exact same thing again here. There he is. He's going to come over the middle, but he's going to be covered. Colvin's looking for him the whole way, gets stuck right on him. Watch him follow him right across the field. There's the linebacker picking him up. He pulls it down.
Colvin firing, and Graham makes a terrific adjustment. Ball thrown low behind him, still has it first down, 15-yard gain.
Graham has been compared very favorably to Shannon Sharp, another guy who caught a few balls on this field. And I swear, Michael, he looks an awful lot like the big guy. The way he handles himself, the one-hand catches, that was great body control to get a hold of that ball there and hit the ground.
There can be worse comparisons, huh? That's a pretty nice comparison.
Not kidding.
Colvin's only incompletion was the throw into the end zone on 4th and 1. He's 5 out of 6, 59 yards. Toss sweep and hit by Aaron Sprague is Houston for a loss. So Houston has had it twice, and he has drawn quite a bit of attention twice.
Scott Nemeth has had a great camp, number 6, the starting fullback for Colorado, but he missed his block that time. Coach Lubick loves his secondary, and Aaron Sprague, the strong safety, just whipped the fullback and made a play in the backfield. Big play in this part of the field particularly.
Bucks again looking at 2nd and long. Graham has been the favorite target so far of Colvin, especially when he's in trouble. They run the inside reverse for Hollowell. Tripped up quickly. Nice reaction. Defensive tackle Mike McKenzie.
Well, the Colorado State defense is certainly living the bend but don't break. The first 2 series, they've let Colorado move down the field pretty well, getting right in that 30, 35-yard line area. They're buckling down. They did it the first series. They're doing it again here.
McKenzie maybe stunned a little bit after the stop. He checks out. And the Bucks with 3 wideouts on 3rd and 15. Safety blitz. Colvin sees it, throws on the run, incomplete. Graham thought it was for him. Minardi reacts after Graham tips it, but can't make the catch. Maybe open for debate who it was intended for.
One of the toughest things in football to protect if you're a pass protection team, as Colorado State and Colorado both are, is a safety man coming out of the secondary with no warning.
A 54-yard field goal try here by Mark Mariscal. His first as a Buck. In high school, he hit one from 58. This one will not come close, however. So 2 scoring opportunities for Colorado turned aside, and still 7-0. Moving the ball, but finishing off the drives have been a little bit different issue for them.
That's exactly what Mike just said, and that's what's happening.
Well, Larry Kerr and the Ram defense enjoying their 2 stops and the 7-0 lead. Cecil Sapp with his first carry, knocks down Ken. He's got a first down.
In talking to Gary Barnett and the coaching staff for Colorado, they said one great thing Kevin McDougal did last year, it's a zone running game. They just give it zone running. He picks his hole. McDougal did a great job of cutting back last year. Barnett and the crew didn't know if any of the running backs for Colorado State now could do the same thing. We saw right there, SEPT did a great job of cutting back on that running play.
Now they know.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got gap responsibility, and there's supposed to be somebody in that A gap when he gets back into it. And I'm talking about the gap between the guard and center on the back side of the play. That's where he went.
SEPT, very little action last year as a freshman. He's out of Miami. He will split with Sanders. Newton looking to Pete Brett stop near midfield. Short gain on first down. Well, what they're missing is very simply as good a back as Colorado State has ever produced. 1,164 yards as a senior, nearly 6 per carry, 8 touchdowns, 14th in the country. Maybe more than the numbers was the fact that everybody looked to him to set the standard for effort.
He gave as good an effort as any college football player I've ever seen. He ran like a wild man every time he carried.
Right at midfield. And snap it on 2nd down and 6. And looking for a cutback alley, not finding one this time, is SEPT, Sean Jarney, Deshaun Sykes combined for the stop.
You know, going back to McDougal real quick, he's on the roster for the Indianapolis Colts, who have a great shot for the Super Bowl this year. He'll certainly help that team, especially on special teams. But I'm sure Colorado State would love to say, hey, we can still run the ball without him. McDougal put 190 yards on Colorado last year. Colorado State will mix it up, but they would love to still say, we can still play that smash mouth football even though McDougal is not here.
They go 4 receivers on 3rd and 6. But they pitch it to SEPT. Looks for a lead block. And it's cut down well shy of the first. Medford Moore, a redshirt freshman safety, comes up for the hit.
Well, Deshaun Sykes, I talked about at the top of the telecast here, 134 tackles last year, 7 forced fumbles. They try and keep the blockers off of him. There he does a nice job outrunning the block, coming all the way from the other side of the field, gets there right when the play ends, but they keep him in a scheme. They try and protect him. They'll stack him behind the defensive line and try and free him up and let him roam.
Sykes last year is only a sophomore, voted team MVP for the Buffalo. So Huber will try to pin Hollowell somewhere inside his 10. A little bit higher kick this time. Hollowell again signaling fair catch at the 18. Only a 30-yarder this time for Huber. NFL Week 1 starts tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on ESPN. Eddie George and the AFC champion Tennessee Titans visit Buffalo for the Music City Miracle rematch. And it begins with NFL primetime at 7:30. And then on Monday night, Al Michaels, Dennis Miller, Dan Fouts. They're in St. Louis as NFL MVP Kurt Warner and the Rams host the Denver Broncos. Winners of the last 3 Super Bowls meet. On Monday night, ABC and ESPN, the exclusive home for primetime NFL football. Colvin rolled to throw, keeps, and is upended at the 24 by Doug Held, who has done a pretty good Rick Kroll impression so far, and Colvin's a bit slow getting up.
I'm impressed with Colvin so far. I think he's made good decisions. I haven't seen him panic. He's a little dinged right now, but he's thrown the ball well when he's needed to take a sack. He took it without throwing it up for grabs. If you're a Colorado person, you just got to hope this is a very minor thing here because they don't need him to be going out.
When you call quarterback sneaks for yourself, you know, you got to be ready to take those hits, huh? He was going for the yards.
Well, he's a tough guy, and it looks like maybe he's got a little stinger there with his elbow.
Well, they catch a bit of a break because time runs out on the first quarter, so we'll make sure all the parts are working that right elbow. The Rams, first blood. They got a 52-yard Newton to Rice touchdown, and through 1 quarter at Mile High Stadium, they lead 7-0. Denver, where Zach Colvin will not begin the second quarter, as they have taken a look at his right elbow. They've sent Bobby Pesavento, the junior from Cherville, Indiana, into the huddle. Colvin, 5 out of 7, 59 yards in the first quarter. But as he keeps and lands awkwardly. He injures the elbow. Pesavento, who almost beat out Colvin for the starting job, now will take his first snap of the game. Out of Fort Scott Community College in Kansas, right to the air, and Hollowell is knocked out of bounds. Rams coaches furiously arguing that he has to be ruled out, and he is. No catch. Sprague delivered the blow. Colvin has headed to the Buff locker room. And here is the play that sent him there.
He tried to roll out and run, and defensive end Peter Hogan came in at the end and gets him high. Tries to turn in. There's Hogan hitting him high. Comes down on his arm. Right before the Colorado came out, he tried to throw the ball, and he couldn't, and that was the end of it.
So on 3rd and 5. There's Savento. They change at the line. And again goes up the right side. And this time hanging on. Inbounds Javon Green. And now they say he didn't hang on. Incomplete. As a near low comes in and separates Green and the ball.
Actually, these were two beautiful throws.
He checked both of them. He checked to both of them.
He checked to both of them against the 2 deep to try to get it into that outside seam. Just a little fade route, and he throws both of them beautifully. One time the DBs knocked the receiver out of bounds. This time its ball is wrestled loose. Good job of coming in late both times by the safeties and the corners collectively for Colorado State. Tough play.
Jeremy Flores. Side of the foot. Hunter's nightmare. Especially deep at his end of the field. Let's get an update from Reese on Ball State opening up against Florida.
And you think Ball State has enough problems. They've lost 17 straight games. This is the opening kickoff from the Mighty Gators. Uh-oh. Little trickery. Jeff Chandler kicks it to himself. Oh, Jeff's got some skills, some moves that led to a touchdown, but Ball State wouldn't go down quietly. We're going to start with Jesse. And Jesse gets knocked down. Jesse Palmer does. And Cornelius Bowick recovers the fumble. And Ball State's on the board, but the Gators are up by 5.
Flores shanks a 20-yard punt. The Rams take over at the 46 of Colorado. They lead 7-0. Newton rolling. And Redstock has it at the 34. A first down as he beats Donald Strickland. They get 13 yards.
Well, I tell you what, Redstock does a great job here on the rollout. Newton can't really come forward and throw the ball. Redstock, the receiver, will come back to the ball. He can't get a lot on it. Redstock sees that. He ran an out route, and you see him actually running back toward Newton. That's a very smart play by the receiver. You understand your quarterback can't reach you, so you go ahead and come back to him a little bit.
Redstock, they list 190, but he lost 14 pounds over the summer with a bad case of tonsillitis. They say pretty much 100% for this week. Newton hanging one up for Dallas Davis, and he makes the catch out of bounds. Redstock was one physical question mark. Dallas Davis, of course, the other, missed a whole week's practice with a strained hip flexor. That's not a good receiver's injury, is it?
One of the things you teach your quarterback on that route is the ball's going to fade to the right because the rotation, if you're a right-handed passer, as you come down the sideline, it's going to fade off to the right. And he actually threw that ball out of bounds, Mike, and Davis made the catch, but of course it didn't count.
You're right. You'll see people at home will say that wasn't a very good pass, but that's exactly where it's going to go. It's going to go high and outside. That's where you want it for the receiver.
Got it. He begins. Papali has everybody fooled. Touchdown, Colorado State, 33 yards.
Beautiful play-action fake, and they've seen something. Coach Fairchild saw something on Nate Wright because Nate bit again. He's not having his best day. Number 25 trailing the touchdown.
Adding the extra point. C.W. Hurst makes it 14-0. Newton to the air, deep twice for 52 and 33, and it's 14-0 Rams.
Behind every advance in technology is the question, what if? What if the internet...
Kapari for 33 yards. Hollowell brought that one out of the end zone. Bad decision.
Yeah, Eric Pollard was glad he did it, though, Dave. Eric just made himself famous. Folks, remember tackles like that in games like this longer than they do the touchdown passes.
Let's go back to the touchdown pass. I'll tell you exactly what happened to get Kapari free. Down on the bottom of the screen, the two guys think it's going to be a hitch. Right here, they think it's a hitch here. These two guys move up. They think Kapari's going to block. He ends up going deep. They're coming up for the hitch pass. Kapari's wide open. All he had to do was lay it there. That's nervous for the quarterback to make sure you get it to him.
Veteran QBs make those throws.
Nate Wright Jr. beaten on both touchdown passes. And on first down, they give DeMarcus Houston the tackle by Jeff Grau. Let's set it down to Michelle.
Well, guys, Zach Colvin is in the locker room with a bruised elbow that's being x-rayed. Remember, he edged out Bobby Pesavento for the starting job by a hair, and when Pesavento realized he's taking over this game, he came to the sidelines cool as a cucumber. He's relaxed, talking to his offensive linemen and receivers as though he started this game, guys.
Colvin, you saw just emerging with the ice pack on the elbow. Pesavento, low fake roll, 2nd and 5, throw on target. By far the best target in this first half for the Bucs is the junior tight end Daniel Graham from here in Denver. Thomas Jefferson High School teammate Marcus Houston. Colvin still showing on his face that elbow is still smart.
Yeah, I think he is a tough guy who would not have left this game if he thought he could function and help his team win.
Well, they made him try and throw one pass on the sideline, and you could just, the grimace in his face, and the ball barely went 10 yards. No way they could put him back.
I really didn't think they'd be able to jerk him out of this game.
Pesavento originally at Miami of Ohio before Fort Scott Community College. And he'll keep. Only of about 5 to the 37. John Howell, the free safety, was there.
This is an important drive for Colorado because this game has an eerie similarity to 1 year ago. And we talked about Gary Barnett having that virus. The rivalry thing, those flu-like symptoms continue, especially if you start all over, and this has, like Yogi Berra would say, this is deja vu all over again.
So far, 55-14, Colorado State over Colorado the last 2 games. Only through Gary Barnett has been the headman for the Buffaloes. You're right, going exactly the same way. Pesavento steps up, fires a strike. Cedric Cormier weaves his way to the 36 of CSU. A gain of 27.
Good job by Cormier freeing himself up. Gallimore on the coverage. Just got a little bit of space. Cormier's very fast. See him waiting for the ball. Gallimore comes in late. The throw goes back outside while Gallimore was coming in. Took him right away from the play. Cormier did the rest.
Bever does have a lot of speed, you said, but he averaged only 7.5 yards a catch last year, which you said was embarrassing. He means to be a much better deep threat this year. Houston shrugs off some tackles, and his first good run of the afternoon. BYU visiting Virginia. Reese Davis, what's happening there?
Dave, you remember that wild 45-40 thing they played last year? Waning moments. BYU down 35-28. Brett Engelman, margin hooks. Hello. Ties the game at 35. This to win it for Virginia in regulation. David Green, high enough, long enough, not straight enough. They're playing in overtime. BYU has the ball.
Colorado has the ball here. Pesavento steps up. Up the side and inside the 15-yard line is Nemeth, the fullback. Takes it 17 yards, and they haven't missed a beat so far with Pesavento replacing Colvin.
It's a great setup play. Nemeth is blocking, and then one time he blocks, lets the defender slip in, and he just goes out for the easy pass, and Pesavento knows he has to just dump the ball over the top and a lot of room to run.
Here you go, Ben. Scott Nemeth out of Laguna Niguel, California. Biggest surprise in their fall camp. A different person than last year, according to his offensive coordinator, Sean Watson. 1st and 10 Bucks. Green trying to get some yak yards. After contact, he reaches the 10.
I knew you'd like that term there, Dave, that yak yard thing.
You hadn't explained to him what it means yet, Michael.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yards after contact.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Come on, coach.
Yards after contact, yards after catch. Tomato, tomato.
The injured Ram, Adam Wade. Sophomore, strong side linebacker. Second and 6. Motion from Minardi. Houston takes the toss, cuts it back, and reaches the 5. And Colorado will look at 3rd and short, about 2.
How do you become the #1 tailback in America coming out of the high school? You learn to plant your outside foot, turn it up inside, get your pads down, and run over people. An auspicious beginning of these last 2 carries. Watch the cutback. Off the correct foot, boom, left foot planted, explode up inside, running through tackles. Nice job by the true freshman.
Timeout, with Colorado poised to finally get on the board. They trail 14-0.
All right. Who can solve this? Mr. Montez.
Last Saturday in the Army Reserve, I figured out how to link up 23 Bradleys, 40 tanks, 60 Humvees, 4 medevac units, and 7,000 troops on the move. On Monday, class was no sweat.
Not bad, Mr. Montez.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
Global Crossing. It's what happens when the most robust global network meets the richest content to take your business anywhere on the planet. Global Crossing. The ability to reach the world. The capacity to change it.
Kickamus, Maximus, Buttimus, Madden 2001, EA Sports. It's in the game.
Rated E for everyone.
It's Tuberville's homecoming, but can his new Golden Boy counter the dangerous Deuce McAllister? Auburn versus Ole Miss at 7 next Saturday on ESPN2.
Mile High Stadium, neutral site for the 3rd year in a row for Colorado and Colorado State. And around 70,000 ready for 3rd and 1 Buffalo. Adam Wade back in at linebacker. Marcus Houston inside the 5, keeps going, and has his first college touchdown.
Marcus is going to remember this one for a long, long time, but for more than you might imagine. This ball almost came out. Here he comes. Once again, those pads are down. Nice blocking up front. Look at the ball. Whoa. He had the presence to reach across and re-secure it. Not easy to do.
2 important right elbows in this game for Colorado. Mariscal adds the kick, 14-7, and welcome to college football indeed, Marcus Houston.
In anticipation of your runaway success as a Wall Street Journal reader, how to blend in with normal people. When in public, walking a pet can help you blend in. A tip on being madly successful from the Wall Street Journal, full of insight on making it big. Subscribe to the Journal for just 57 cents a day for 13 weeks, 25% off the regular rate. The Wall Street Journal. Call 800-722-2100. That's 800-722-2100.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's data bank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your inventor's information, call 1-800-652-0101.
There's something special about football games at night. There's a certain je ne sais quoi. That's French.
It's more elegant, more poetic, more, dare I say, sexy.
It's a lifestyle.
Yes, it is.
The Bills want to avenge the Music City Miracle as the Titans invade Buffalo. Right after NFL primetime at 7:30, it's the Titans versus the Bills at 8:30 on ESPN Sunday Night Football. It's football after dark.
Marcus Houston gets the privilege of playing his first college football game in his hometown. Denver Thomas Jefferson High School All-America. And State Player of the Year gets the bus on the board. Redstock returns this one. And it ends at the 19-yard line by Drew Walrus's big hit.
Well, Bill, the ex-offensive lineman you are, you should be happy. Big Victor Rogers coming down, cleaning it down. Justin Bates coming around with the trap right here, opening the hole for the touchdown for Marcus Houston. Look at the pull, the block down, the hit. Nice hole there for the touchdown. Good job by the Big Uglies, as they're called.
Big Victor's had 7 surgeries, and he just inflicted a couple of injuries that caved in the entire defensive line. Great blocking.
I don't know, maybe the governor already? Probably. Phoning in the congrats. And flags on the snap. This is a Mountain West officiating crew, and the referees.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Tom Robinson is the referee. Field position advantage so far for the Rams. They've averaged taking over at their 34-yard line. They've been Colorado on average at their 21. But right now the Rams are at their own 15. Newton will forgive the Rashawn Sanders. And to read about the accomplishments on the field and off of Marcus Houston and Michelle DeVoy, you almost get the impression it's a combination of Terrell Davis and Gandhi.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, in May, he was named one of America's top 10 youth volunteers. He traveled to Europe to be a keynote speaker at Amnesty International's Youth Campaign on Human Rights. He's traveled to Ghana, where he's the chief of development of one of the villages, and I'll tell you even more after the play.
It takes a while to run down that very impressive list. You're right. Sanders a loss of 1. And the backers creep it up and coming after Newton on 2nd and 11. Will Lane leaps but can't bring that one down. Michelle.
Well, one of the most impressive things about him is he founded a program to help educate Denver's inner city youth. It's called Just Say No, K-N-O-W. And he initially funded the program, get this, by mowing lawns and shoveling snow. His bio in the Colorado Media Guide, by the way, is the 2nd longest of any player, and he hasn't even done anything except score that touchdown.
Well, that's his first freshman record, longest bio. And well-deserved. 3rd and 11. Seen a momentum change in Colorado State now. A little bit back on their heels, although they still own the lead. Not wanting to kick it away quite this quickly. But they're going to have to. Newton sacked at the 12. Brady McDonald, the senior defensive end.
Here's what we have. We have a true freshman, along with his offensive line, that led the way in a huge drive for the Colorado Buffaloes. Now the defense has picked up on it, and a man that was sacked only 9 times the entire 99 season has just gone down. And he probably could have gone down one time earlier because of a good job of coverage by the Colorado secondary.
It has not been a good first half so far for Hubert, who has a very strong leg, and he shows it on this effort. Hollowell from the 42 across midfield to the 40 of Colorado State. 45 yards on the kick and 19 on the return by Roman Hollowell. Well, in the first quarter, all Rams, 14-0, 2 big plays through the air. Colorado fighting back.
Well, you have to wonder, Colorado State up 28-0 at halftime last year. They were up 14-0 here in the beginning of the game. A little complacency, possibly feeling good about themselves, maybe, Coach. I don't know.
It's really hard to fight that feeling. Now you got a true freshman back there, and the O-line starts smashing off. Everybody, including the special teams, has picked up on this for the Colorado football team. That's the difference.
Well, they take over already in Ram territory. That'll be thrown out of bounds, intended for Javon Green. BYU and Virginia were in overtime. Let's see what's happened there, Reese Davis.
What happened was BYU got it close. They put it on the foot of Owen Potchman from 26 yards out. Toe meets leather. Ball game just barely. 38-35. BYU 1-1 in the ACC now. And UCLA finishes off Bama 35-24. 187 yards for Deshaun Foster.
USC, UCLA, Arizona State, all opening wins. Houston showing the ability to break tackles, as he did on the touchdown. Gets away from the initial hit here, reaches the 34. Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Houston's got to be seeing even more time now. Not only did he score Colorado's only touchdown, but his mentor, Cortland Johnson, was diagnosed with turf toe. He's being fitted for a special splint. He is expected to return. He's just coming back out on the field. He is expected to see more time, but now it may be Houston's game to run.
Cortland Johnson has some accomplishments of his own. I mean, it's not like Houston is their only hope in the running game. Johnson third in the Big 12. Over 800 yards last year. Preseason all Big 12 pick this year. Esavento, 3rd and 6, drops. Put it right in Quinn Sitniewski's hands, and he couldn't hang on.
I'll tell you what, though, if Marcus Houston keeps running the way he is, coaches, Bill, as you know, tend to go with that hot hand. They'll keep it. It won't be such a 50-50 split. He's an exuberant kid. He jumps up. He pats the offensive lineman on the button on the helmet. He's kind of taking a little bit of a leadership role here as a true freshman.
Yeah, I asked number 9, Adam Wade, the tough linebacker from Colorado State. He just blitzed and got drilled in the mouth by none other than Mr. Houston 2 plays ago. The guy is already a complete football player.
Colorado will use its second timeout. Mark Mariscal has already tried a 54-yarder, which was well short. They're thinking about having them tee one up from 53 when we come back.
ESPN the magazine. Well, thank you for calling. Dan, can I put you on hold? Dan Patrick wants a free Polo Fleece pullover. He writes a column for the magazine. But he's not a new subscriber.
Sorry, Dan. No can do on the fleece. It's only for new subscribers. You mean you're actually calling to subscribe?
Okay, sure. Okay.
Everyone wants our warm, roomy Polar Fleece pullover. It has a half-zip front and embroidered ESPN the magazine logo. And best of all, it's free.
ESPN the magazine. It's Rich Eisen. He's called 3 times.
Sorry, Rich. I agree, it's a great-looking fleece, but it's only for new subscribers.
Subscribe now to ESPN the magazine and get your sports the way it ought to be. Big and bold, fast and furious. With in-your-face photos, amazing interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage of what's happening now and what's happening next. All with ESPN attitude.
Stuart Scott wants the fleece.
Booyah! Call now for ESPN the magazine. Get 26 issues, a year's worth for just $1 an issue. That's 66% off the newsstand price. And your fleece pullover is free.
It's Chris Berman. He could go all the way!
Call now for ESPN the magazine and your free fleece pullover. 1-800-947-3113.
On further review, Gary Barnett decides not to try a 53-yarder by Mark Mariscal, who was woefully short to 54 his first try, and so punter Jeremy Flores will try to find the corner or hang it.
They have four split wide. They might try and hang it up real high and then catch it inside the 10.
That is exactly what they have in mind, and they let it dribble into the end zone. Count the white jerseys around there. They've got 6 players surrounding that punt, and they can't prevent the touchback.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that rule, but once it breaks the plane, it's as if there were a glass pane there. When it breaks that glass pane, it's automatic touchback. When it goes across the plane of the end zone, this is a beautiful punt. There they are.
A for effort, F for execution. They were right there.
Yep, and more flu-like symptoms for the head coach.
It's their hands guys, too. Green and minority receivers.
Oh, it's just so painful to watch those things, but you'd be amazed at how hard that is, and that's why we don't call it basketball. That ball ain't round. It doesn't bounce back up the same way every time.
Newton chased, throw on the run. Dallas Davis has it, and then drops it. Rice it is, who had a perfect pass from Newton right in his hands. Nate Wright Jr., who has been beaten for both touchdowns, catching his breath here because he was almost the victim for the 3rd touchdown pass. Rice can't hang on.
Well, I got to tell you, if I'm Nate Wright Jr., I'm feeling like a dartboard right now. Are they going to go after anybody else, or are they going to burn me all day long? That should have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
Dallas had that football. Dallas doesn't usually drop those.
Frank Rice, near miss, 2nd and 10. Shorter this time, and Strickland delivers the hit, but Davis does hang on. He is close for the first down near the 30. Next Saturday, an ESPN2 early doubleheader. Get it underway at noon Eastern time, with NC State visiting Anquan Randall in Indiana. And at 3:30 Eastern, we've got Georgia, number 11 in the country, with Quincy Carter visiting South Carolina. That is 1 week from today here on ESPN2. Fun to see Quincy Carter. Not for Lou Holt.
No. Lou's trying to break a bad streak down there in South Carolina.
Newton 8 for 12, 3rd and 1. They're going to come up short with the conservative call to Rashawn Sanders.
But what a nice block by Broderick Lancaster, number 68. Did a great job of pulling. The left guard came across and just absolutely crushed the linebacker coming up. Running back almost tripped over him. In fact, the running back did trip into him and fell down before he got to the first down.
That's where Big Broderick comes back and says, son, would you just stay just a little bit farther behind me? Don't step on me. We'll make some first downs here.
Hollowell is the 4th smallest player in Division 1A, 5'6", 160. Huber not looking at the snap clock right in front of him, and it was past 0 by a couple of seconds.
Dead ball, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Now, these are the first punts for Huber as his first start. And Coach Sonny Lubick happy he's just getting them off at this point. Talking about getting those wide eyes, looking for that rush. Make sure you catch the snap, son, and just punt it high.
Coach Bobby Dowd, one of the great coaches of all time, and my college coach used to pull the punter aside every single punt, and he'd say, catch the snap. That's all he said, catch the snap. Sonny is a little concerned about this young.
Catches the snap, no problem. Hollowell, the fair catch at the 33. It's getting a little bit better. 43 yards that time for Huber. Colorado has its points on the board, courtesy of the freshman Marcus Houston.
Even though Colorado down 7, they should be feeling pretty good. Their offense has been moving. They've been stalling a little bit when they get close. But everything seems to be working at this point. No reason to change any philosophy at this point.
Corbin Johnson, who started. Back in, out. Can you time it any better than Adam Wade?
No, you really can't. Nor can Marcus time his beginning any better than he did on that previous drive. I can't remember the kind of publicity with performance, substance with the form, as much as I've seen here from Marcus Houston since a guy named Herschel Walker in 1980 across our state there in the state of Georgia at the University of Georgia.
And he was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Herschel guy.
Yeah, sure was.
It causes a loss of 4. This toss has Johnson reaching the 38 and 3rd and 5 from there.
A little taste of what Marcus has given his team thus far. Bear in mind, this is a true freshman that was playing high school. There's a crushing block on a linebacker. Nice movement. Making it count for all it's worth. Ball comes out, has the presence to reach across, re-secure. Very, very difficult things to teach. In fact, maybe impossible to teach to a true freshman if he doesn't instinctively do them.
Timeout called by Colorado State. Their first timeout with 4 minutes and 18 seconds remaining before halftime. 14-7 lead for the Rams here at Mile High Stadium in Denver.
This state of mind, this discovery of new matter, the world's new health sciences center, and this Nobel Prize, Rhodes scholarships, and 15 NASA astronauts. Learning environments like these will change you. Burst cell implants and liver transplants, building communities and virtual campuses, these smart classrooms, world-class teaching and research, the University of Colorado.
Remember college?
I bet you do.
I bet you do.
Remember the highs, the lows,
The pressure.
the party?
Are you kidding me? You're going to risk your hard-earned cash
Take food off your table. Off your table?
betting on
18-year-old kids?
kids.
You might as well.
Throw your money away.
Fool.
Fool.
So watch our games for this kind of
This kind of action.
not this.
Not this.
Because if you're banking on me,
To make your day?
don't bet on it. Don't bet on it.
Fans into it. A warm late Saturday afternoon in early September in Denver. 3rd and 6. Pesavento for Hollowell gets a couple of springing blocks and maybe off to the races. He's knocked out inside the 40 by Jason Gallimore, the identical twin brother of the starting quarterback, Justin Gallimore, and he saved 6. It's a 16-yard gain.
Yeah, and John, and this is where you see the other aspects of wide receivers, guys that'll go down and block for you. You see the catch, but watch John Minardi, number 2, when we get out after the catch. He's going to throw the block. Quick hitch. There's number 2 right out there, taking the legs out from under the defender, opening up the outside, letting the little man do the rest.
Pesavento changing plays frequently, replacing the injured Colvin. And the short toss complete to Eric McCready.
Really the first technical mistake I've seen from Pesavento. He should have been flagged in because he didn't allow his backs to be set for a full second when he called for the snap count. The officials missed that one. That would be a 5-yard penalty under normal circumstances.
Right idea, though, changing the play. Saw the coverage off, want to go to the quick pass, but you're right, got a little too jumpy with it, not letting his offense get set.
And there's Coach Sean Watson right there, offensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes, doing a good job of calling plays.
Johnson follows his blocks nicely. First down inside the 30. Aaron Sprague, the strong safety, getting a lot of action.
David Andrews, the fullback, took David Vickers, the linebacker. He took him out of bounds. He took him out of bounds. That was an unbelievable block by the fullback. Open it up for Johnson. I mean, you know, the running backs get the publicity. They deserve it. They make the yards. But I'll tell you what, the guys in front of them, the line and the fullback, they really don't get enough credit for what they do.
One of the first things Gary Barnett said is we've got to reestablish the ability to have a power running attack when we need it, because in the Big 12 you will need it. Johnson a big part of it this year. Bill McCartney, as he wound down his career, of course, he built a national champion on a great running attack. And then the passing emphasis from Rick Neuheisel, running all the way down to only 123 game his last year. Bumped it up to over 150 in Barnett's first year. And rushing yards so far today, 72 for Colorado from Johnson and Houston. Sevento throws to a target that had tripped Quinn Sipniewski. Let's send it down to Michelle.
Well, you know, Cortland Johnson read a college football preview in a national magazine that said Colorado had lost its best offensive weapons. Johnson said he was, well, I'll put it mildly, he said he was extremely upset. And he said, I don't know who wrote that, but every week I'm going to make him feel stupid that he did, Dave.
I bet his word was different than extremely
Michelle,
upset.
you didn't use that word, and I'm so glad.
Third and 6, Cormier inside the 15. Colorado moving it with short passing, sparked by Minardi, McCready, Hollowell, Cormier, Green, multiple targets for Pesavento, and they keep the chains moving late in the first half.
And as you pointed out, Mike, those guys are blocking for each other, too. Those wide receivers are out there busting it in the open field.
Absolutely.
And that's why they're making these first downs.
That time it was Javon Green out there with the block.
Love to go in at the half tide. A chance here. First and 10, 14-yard line. Pesavento all day to the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown, Green. Every time they needed a big touchdown catch last year, Javon Green was there his junior year. Kansas State, Nebraska, Oklahoma. We all burned late. 14-14 with Mariscal's extra point. Green actually considered leaving for the NFL early. The reason he came back, what you're seeing right there, he could not leave the camaraderie of college football.
Well, I tell you what, it was the same play a few plays ago, except they faked the hitch. Receivers crossed. The middle was wide open. Pesavento just waited for Green to clear the middle. They set it up like the hitch again, Bill. They set it up like the hitch and then set him up.
They did. It's a dig pattern. He's coming across the middle. It's a blown coverage. They're in a zone. The safeties should feel that happening and converge on it. Nobody even sees him. They should be getting vision on the quarterback, seeing receivers come in front, and instead they were both distracted and drawn to the outside. Not a particularly good throw by Pesavento, but a marvelous concentration by Javon.
He thinks it was perfect.
He said it's 6 points, isn't it?
Hey, the great
one in the 9 as far as he's
great
concerned.
call playing by Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator. I mean, he is really setting up Colorado State's defense.
So the tying combination right there, making it 14 all with 2:35 in the first half. Van really 2 touchdown lead gone. And all the way through the back of the end zone. Let's see what is coming up at the half from Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, coming up at the break, Alabama's national championship hopes run headlong into a resurgent Pac-10. When did Penn State fall off the edge of the earth and nobody told us? And certainly nothing is wrong with Nebraska as they roll. All of that coming up when John Makovic and Rod Gilmore join me at the half.
Well, I'm not sure what was more shocking at Happy Valley today, the fact that Toledo beat Penn State by that score, or the fact that they physically dominated Penn State the way they did.
Not what you expect in Happy Valley ever from anybody.
Lopa's first loss ever for the match. Newton vaults it up inside the 10. And manages the recovery.
And while Jones sacked him, causes a fumble, and then he actually knocked the ball back to Newton. All he had to do was just jump on it. He tried to scoop it up with a hand, and he actually knocked it right back to Newton. Great job on the sack, but I guarantee in films they're going to say, finish it. He comes from the top of the screen, unblocked. Now watch after the ball's free.
They beat David Showett, number 60, the left tackle. And he really should have had the football. Transfer from Northwestern, here with his old staff.
Draw play on 2nd and 21, and Jashawn Sykes is there to greet Cecil Sapp.
Mike, everything about this football game has changed since the touchdown drive.
And Colorado has driven the ball well, and finally they're getting the payoff. It's amazing what it can do to attitude when you get the payoff.
Now, Colorado has one more timeout, and they're going to use it here, because they can get the ball back. A minute 27 to go. They forced the 3rd and 19.
And I would think, if I'm Vince Okrew and Tom McMahon, the defensive coordinators, co-coordinators for Colorado, we're going to be in a lot of zone from now on. We're not going to give up the big plays, because without the big plays, this is perhaps a 14-0, 14-7 game our way if we're Colorado. Colorado State has got to get back to what Coach Lubick prescribed. They've got to start running the ball, Mike.
What a change. What an absolute change, talking about how Colorado State would handle the beginning of the game when Colorado wanting some revenge, but it was State that came out early and really took it to them. You had to wonder if the wind was going out of the Colorado sails early, but again, great drives, stayed with their game plan, great mix-up of plays, right back in the game.
After a pair of blowouts when they first moved the series here, real treat. A football game almost all the way through the first half, 14-all.
Well, ESPN2 is here, so we deserve a good game.
Treat for us. Matt Newton, the story of the first quarter, unable to sustain many drives here in the second quarter, as Pesavento has come in for the injured Zach Colvin for Colorado and knotted it up. Now 3rd and 19. Sapp looks for a block. Nothing there. He got run down by Medford Moorer and Terrence Wood. Terrence Wood, grandfather, Willie Wood. Ring a bell, Bill?
Willie Wood, number 24 for the Green Bay Packers, one of my old teammates that I love the most. Nobody could light him up from the secondary like Willie Wood. One of the great players, a Hall of Famer. I hope he's here today watching his grandson play. I can't imagine anything would be much more fun.
Back when you played, huh? Face mask back then?
Face mask penalties for people like you.
Just wondering. TV sets?
Black and white.
Thanks, guys.
Huber standing in his own end zone, watching the play clock. Gets it off in time, not real long. Hollowell has it at midfield. Terrific coverage is provided by Brett Nelson. Well, tomorrow at 11 Eastern in the morning, the season premiere of Sunday NFL Countdown. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, a whole host of experts providing the best pregame show in the business with a special new addition this season. Steve Young will make some occasional appearances, providing his insight and analysis as well. Sunday NFL Countdown, 8 a.m. Pacific tomorrow.
Tell you what I liked about that last defensive play by Colorado is they didn't give any yards, even though on 3rd and long, forced that punt deep. Now they have good field position at the 50.
NFL will move next door for the Broncos next year. This is the last college game to be played at Mile High. Pesavento from McCready at the 22. Sprague came up arguing that he caught it out of bounds. No dice. 28 yards, 22 seconds.
One of the toughest throws in football is the fade pattern to the outside on a 2-deep coverage. There's a hard corner over there and a safety coming like a train from you-know-where, and you got to thread the needle perfectly. He's done that not once, not twice, but 3 times today.
Houston looks for a cutback alley and grabbing an ankle and hanging on is Lucas Smith. The defensive tackle, 9 seconds, no timeouts. Buck's got to get a spike here by Pesavento real quick. 5 seconds.
Taking too long.
Well, 1 second or time expires.
Well, he was waiting for the referee to give him the signal to go ahead and snap it. He was standing there waiting. Everybody was set.
Look at the Rams sprinting toward their locker room. They're not waiting around for the discussion.
Oh, they're going to get off the field if they can, but that was it.
They're going to have to come back.
1 second on the clock.
I tell you, for a defensive lineman, Mike, you are incredibly perceptive. You're exactly right. That was an official's error. I can't believe you saw that through your face mask. You need to take that helmet off. You don't need to wear it anymore.
Pesavento, really, he wanted to snap the ball. He was all set to snap the ball, but the ref was standing over it, and the clock's winding down.
You're right, and the center cannot snap that ball. He really ought to give him more than 1 second.
Pesavento should have been yelling at the referee.
Right, here it is.
He's ready to snap.
Here it is. He's got to wind it and blow his whistle, and it's the umpire who erred. And they're going to give him a shot at a field goal, and that's what they deserve. I was all set to blame it on Pesavento.
Let me tell you, if I was Pesavento, I might have got 15 yards for saying something to the ref.
That's why you didn't play quarterback,
That's
Mike.
good, man. Athletic ability had something to do with it as well, but it's a whole other story.
Well, there's only one thing that kept me from playing quarterback. Talent. It's the only reason that I didn't get to play that position.
Well,
I told the coach, I said, look, I ought to be a quarterback. He said, I'm going to let you handle the ball, and I just want you to take one step forward from the quarterback position and stay right there the rest of your life.
Isn't that the same thing that kept you from pitching at Yankee Stadium?
Yeah,
I'm hearing an echo in your explanation of your various careers that just didn't quite.
But you got to understand, and Mike knows this, all the center has to do is hike the ball and stay alive, and I could do that. So I got to play.
You know what? When
wonderful.
My dad never wanted, my dad played football also, and when I was playing in high school, they said, well, what position you want to play? And my dad said, if they ever try and make you play center, snap it into the quarterback's ankles. You don't want to play that position.
What do you think of that?
I tried to tell my son that, and he became the long snapper for the University of Virginia for 4 years.
Mariscal missed from 54. He will try to give Colorado a lead at the half from 36 yards. And he does. A second too late as far as Sonny Lubick and the Rams are concerned. They've led 14-0. Pesavento.
Well, it really isn't. Colorado State came out big, throwing the quick touchdown passes, but they backed it up with no running game. Colorado's been a lot more consistent.
Yeah, they just absolutely took over when Pesavento came in the game, and they put the freshman Houston in the game.
And the Buffs get it to start the third quarter. Hollowell from the yard deep. Gets away from Gallimore. And the return to the 25. Jason Gallimore finishing him off.
Here's what happened in the first half. Matt Newton got it going early for Colorado State, hitting Frank Rice wide open for the touchdown. He follows it up with another wide open Joey Kapori for another score, but they backed that up, Bill, with just -2 yards rushing, where Colorado has been much more consistent passing and running.
That was a huge difference in the game, and then this young freshman, Marcus Houston, comes on the scene and electrifies his squad so that every aspect of the game for Colorado has changed, and the momentum has shifted to the white shirts.
Fake to Cortland Johnson. Daniel Graham has had a big game. The junior tight end from here in Denver, good for 12 yards. And let's check in down below with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Dave, halftime inside the Colorado State locker room was not panicked, but Coach Sonny Lubick did get on his offense. He said, we've got to get our running game going, and we're not going to do it by leaning into the defense. We've got to start knocking them over. This is a brand new game, and you should not be tired. As for Gary Barnett, he said Bobby Pesavento has given him exactly what he hoped for, poise in a backup role.
Johnson squeezes through, broken tackles across midfield, 15 yards. On the first quarter, only 1 yard separated the Buffs and the Rams. But in the second quarter, Colorado gets 190
right there.
Yards.
Last year, Colorado State just dominated the game on the ground with Kevin McDougal getting 190. Nowhere near that today.
A lot of coaches say that the first 5 minutes of the third quarter are the most important in the game. Colorado has come out with Cortland Johnson running through tackles, which is a measure of will at this point in the game.
From the Ram 48, Johnson stumbled a bit. He was about ready to send another 10, 15-yard breaker through the middle, and John Howell, the free safety, makes his second straight tackle.
You know what I love about that? Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator for Colorado, he's running the same plays he ran in the beginning of the game. The tight end drag, then a couple of runs up the middle. Don't be surprised if you see Daniel Graham, the tight end, with another drag on the little rollout. It's almost the identical play calling from the beginning of the game.
Amazing how they keep it balanced.
There it is. Got it again.
Throwing on the run. Graham, 6th catch to the 30, another first down. 14 yards this time.
Well, I tell you, I'm sick of being right.
The references, don't worry, Mike. You usually even it up quickly. The references to Shannon Sharp are inevitable just because of where we're located, but also because of the way the big guy Graham reaches up, catches the ball in his hands, and secures it so well. He's been a major factor since Pesavento came in the game.
6 catches, 77 yards for Daniel Graham. Johnson breaks more tackles. Near the 15. The front line is just not getting it done for Colorado State.
And Bill, I have to ask you, we've seen Daniel Graham, the tight end, with those catches and setting up these runs beautifully. How do you, as a coach, not tell these guys when you see that quarterback rolling, look for the tight end? They're not even looking for the tight end. He's running free.
Well, they're catching him in a coverage. It's a double zone, and the guy that has to make that play is the corner to the side that he's approaching, and the corner's occupied with a wide receiver. It's a brilliantly conceived plan.
Johnson takes the sweep inside the 10 to the 6. Gain of 5. Safeties making every tackle now for the Rams. Amir Lowe this time.
Cortland Johnson is not going to relinquish his spot as the star tailback without a heck of a battle. Good job up front once again by the O-line, especially Victor Rogers, number 71. Wide receivers down there knocking people back. John Minardi, excellent running. Now he gets a blow, and Houston's back in the game.
Out of the eye, Houston to the 2, to the 1, and almost stretches for his second touchdown.
This, again, is identical to the first drive of the game. It got him to the 30 where they went on 4th and 1 and missed it. This is the same thing, but they're going to hit pay dirt. I'm sure Gary Barnett told them at halftime, listen, guys, it's working what we're doing. Keep believing and keep doing it. And they really have Colorado State back on their heels.
Yeah, and they want to give the score to Cortland Johnson. They just put him back in the game. Smart thinking.
You're right.
Morale is the most important thing a football team has. This is a morale decision here.
See there? It's Pesavento on the sneak. Who scores? Touchdown. Colorado.
Boy, I just am sick of being right.
No, I think they were supposed to. I think Pesavento kept it on his own, Coach. I think you were right.
Thank you, Mike.
His morale's important.
That's exactly right. He lost a close battle to Zach Colvin. That's a great point, Dave. And I'm sure he certainly would like to win the spot back. He may get it because of this injury, but if Colvin is better after this game, Pesavento certainly has the right to say, listen, I produced.
Let me point out one thing. The snaps have been very poor in placement attempts for Colorado. That one's perfect.
Mariscal boots it through. 24 unanswered points engineered by Bobby Pesavento, who finishes off a smart 75-yard drive opening the second half. Pesavento has engineered points on 4 of his last 5 possessions for the Buffaloes. Got to keep him stretched out. He's got a hot hand right now. 24 straight points, a 10-point lead for a Colorado team that was back on its heels really early, down 14-11. They have run off 55 plays to Colorado State's 23. High kick by Jeremy Flores, short return by Rice from the 15. And upended in the open field by Phil Jackson.
You look at the scoring drive that Colorado just went on. 8 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes. It's amazing, Bill, how it's the same amount of plays that the defense is out there too, but how the defense is so much more tired after a drive like that than the offense is.
Well, in all fairness, you big guys don't run as well as offensive players, and you have to struggle to chase the backs and receivers. You get so tired because the offensive guys are knocking you around so well.
I'm tired, all right, but not of that.
Now Newton has got to get something sustained, and he starts it with a short toss, which Dallas Davis turns into a first down, and almost a lot more than that.
In our open to this broadcast, we indicated that Newton and his offensive line were going to have to be the equalizers in this game. I don't think anybody with a brain can argue that Colorado out-talents Colorado State. Well, so far that has not happened since the early drives when they hit the 2 big plays. So now, the big guys up front in the green shirts have got to suck it up, get something done, and Matt's got to get sharp again.
They mark Davis out a yard shy of the first. And so 2nd and 1, they still was. The tight end went in motion and sacked the running back easily with the first down gain to the 38. Colorado defense is built around Jay-Sean Sykes, junior linebacker out of Los Angeles. Their team MVP is a sophomore and a preseason All-America. So far, 5 tackles in this opener.
And I'll tell you what's been happening is normally he doesn't get blocked a lot. He's protected. There's been big offensive lineman bodies on him. He does have 5 tackles, but he hasn't been as effective as I'm sure he would like to be at this point.
It's high goal because he wants to be the LT of CU. Lawrence Taylor reverses fake and goes nowhere because Anwan Jones grabbed Cecil Sapp and wouldn't let him go.
Anwan Jones is on a stunt here, coming right down inside, and it's one of those fortuitous moments when the defensive coordinator makes a play that puts his man, in this case Jones, number 10, coming right down the line of scrimmage on a stunt, and he sees the entire thing develop and destroys it without a second thought. Nice job by Anwan. He's not distracted by the fake. I don't think he even saw the fake. He just saw that football and he attacked. Good defensive end play.
Let's force another second and long. Newton, who was hot early, going deep over the middle. Pete Redstock to the 45 of CU. Finds the open seam in the middle for 24 yards.
And I'll tell you what happened there. Now, Colorado State has gotten some deep passes earlier in the game. So now he cuts in the middle. Michael Lewis, the safety for Colorado, he turns his back and turned around. And he took himself right out of the picture. Redstock just holed up right in the middle there. They've been beaten deep too much today. These guys don't want to. Michael Lewis turned and ran. Redstock just said, okay, I'll take it right here.
I said earlier they're going to be in a lot of zone, and that's what they're in. You're going to be able to hit those underneath routes.
Big first down for Colorado State. Now wanting more. Rice over the middle, deep, just overthrown. And Terrence Wood, like Nate Wright Jr. in the first half, was beaten by Frank Rice. But the throw, unlike the first one by Newton, wasn't perfect.
Matt Newton cannot believe he missed this. He and Frank Rice have connected on these things not a few times in practice during two-a-days, but thousands of times in the off-season, in the hot summertime. You work these things so that you can hit them at these moments. And just the slightest bit of deviation causes the play to go awry.
Corey Wolstenhume, H-back in motion. They come after Newton. He lets it fly for Dallas. Davis caught at the 15. Wood finally wrestles him down, but it's first and goal, and back come the Rams, 37 yards.
Well, Newton threw that one to a spot. He knew Davis was going to be out there. Again, he was getting knocked backwards. Couldn't put all he wanted, so he hung it up high into the outside. Bill, you talked about that earlier. Don't really lead him anymore. You get it high and outside. That's where the receiver can catch it. He either catches it or nobody catches it.
He's got people in his face, but he throws to the spot again because that is nothing but hard work. Young people who want to be good football players, that's thousands of hours of those two, Davis and Newton, working together so that they will know each where the other is at the right time.
First and goal at the 9. Cecil Sapp will mark his knee down. After it hit, he cut it back, and a marker is down. And it's procedure against Colorado State. Well, we have had remarkably few flags in this game.
If this is a terrible time for a procedure penalty, absolutely inexcusable. You drive the length of the field, you hit some big plays, you're about to take the momentum back, and somebody moves early. That's called a drive killer. Those are deadly. Coaches can put up, Mike, with those aggressive 15-yarders. We tease about that, but that's the truth. You hit people, but you don't give them 5 and kill your drive.
So from the 14, still first and goal. Newton inside the 10 finds Rice. He fights as hard as he can, but is outnumbered.
Yeah, Rice was a running back in high school, and every time he gets the football in traffic, you can tell this guy has run amongst linebackers before. He's not intimidated. He's fighting, struggling for more yardage.
And I'll tell you what, Newton, I love the way he hangs in there on these blitzes. He took a hard shot, but he's hanging in there, which could lead to a big play. If he is going to stay in the pocket like that, if you're going to blitz, your defenders, some of them are left on an island. It takes one move by those wide receivers to get open because Newton is hanging right in there on the blitz.
They're going to keep coming after him, and he has to be the man here. He has to be the leader.
Rice reaching the 10. Here they come as a touchdown in motion. And Newton going for him, and it is intercepted by Terrence Wood. Into double coverage. And underthrown at that. And the first turnover of the game. Congratulations all around for Terrence Wood, who picks the first turnover of the game from Matt Newton, who underthrew it and threw it into what turned into double coverage.
Well, he ended up looking an awful lot like his grandfather. I've seen Willie Wood do that 10,000 times.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Still hadn't been too many flags for a first game for both these teams. In fact, the first Colorado penalty all day. Only 3 against CSU. And only the 1 turnover. One too many as far as Cindy Lubbock's concerned.
That's exactly right.
Just about to maybe make it a 3-point game. Barnett's defense holds. Marcus Houston already showing a knack for breaking tackles. The hard-fought 3 yards.
The critical interception was the result of great athleticism, but also good decision-making by Terrence Wood, who comes off his man. He's covering Pete Redstock, number 4, out in the flat. Redstock freezes. He comes off. Great athleticism, about a 36-inch vertical jump for the pick.
Well, and that's what you go to right now is when the ball's in the air, where do you get it? Get the ball at its highest point. He's up there, out jumps at the highest point. Great athletic play.
Pesavento hit by a blitzing Adam Wade, and the Colorado State defense has not been heard from in quite some time.
No, and Pesavento was not ready for him coming off the corner. Adam Wade did not blitz where you expect an inside backer to blitz. He came off the outside, and there was no pickup with the one-back offense.
Send it down to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, you guys, Colorado State defensive coordinator Larry Kerr told us yesterday he's back on the field because nothing can replace face-to-face interaction with his players. After his defense gave up that last touchdown, he said, you guys had sack opportunities. You overlooked them. That's just discipline. Get in there and tackle.
Wade heard him. They run on 3rd and 14, and Houston gets a nice chunk but doesn't get the first down.
You know what I love about this kid running? He never looks like he's at top speed. He's one of those runners, and he doesn't have a lot of moves. It just, he like gives you a dead leg or a dead arm. You think you have him tackled, and he just kind of gives in a little bit, and he keeps going. He's really a smooth runner.
You know who he looks like? You weren't born, Mike, but Gale Sayers had that very same knack, and then he could put it in another gear when he needed to, and Houston has that gear as well. Maybe not up to Gale yet, but with the potential.
Dallas Davis drops back and gets this kick from Flores. Big-time punt return threat. Returned 2 for scores in 1 game last year. So Colorado very aware of Davis's potential. 40 yards on the kick, 13 on the return. Andy Peak made the tackle. Next Saturday afternoon on ESPN, Chris Kirk and Lee, College Game Day, 11 a.m. Eastern, and then this will be coming up tonight, Arizona, Utah, 9 Eastern. 6 Pacific, Ortiz, Jenkins, and the Wildcats on the road at Salt Lake City. Start with great field position and an overthrow intended for Frank Rice. Newton not as sharp, not nearly as sharp as in the first quarter.
Well, also, Nate Wright was right there on the coverage. And when you're not running well like Colorado State is not, play action is not going to be as effective.
Third best running attack in the conference last year, disappearing today.
And again, like I said, play action, you can run play action all you want. Nobody's going to get faked out by it when you have -1 yard rushing.
As they have snapped it, this will be the 33rd play from scrimmage for Colorado State. 58 have been run by Colorado. No wonder their defense is letting a lot of running backs break tackles. Rashawn Sanders carries here. Get an update from Reese Davis.
Guys, Tennessee, Southern Mississippi, are you familiar with the phrase, it'll look like a line drive in the box score tomorrow morning? Joey Matthews, quack, quack, but Cedric Wilson pulls it in after Cedric Scott annihilated Matthews. Tennessee up 7-3. This is Oklahoma and UTEP. This is Josh Heupel. That is Trent Smith. Heupel now does 4 touchdown passes short of the OU school record. It's 14-7.
Takes them a year and a game to get that close to the all-time record. Oh, it is OU. 3rd and 8. And again, Rams need to move these chains. Newton deep. Davis, another overthrow, and a stretching interception by Wood. Man, what a catch.
Willie Wood, I hope you're watching, man. It looks like you worked with this kid from the cradle.
Well, we had no turnovers until Terrence Wood went to work. He steals a touchdown, and now he takes this one away with his second interception. But on further review, taking nothing away from his effort
here.
Taking away nothing from his effort. Bad overthrow by Newton.
We'll take another look here. A very poor decision by Matt Newton, and you're right about that.
Back to the ground, Johnson into the secondary and knocked out by Justin Gallimore. Wearing down this overworked CSU defense, 24 yards. Let's look at it.
Marvelous athleticism. Well, and that looks like a Notre Dame call.
Oh, come on.
The touchdown Jesus looking down on that deal. That's the kind of calls you guys got all the time, Golick.
Look what he does, though. He gets up and celebrates it so that
you guys, I mean, y'all have a clinic on that at Notre Dame every summer.
You get up and you celebrate. Yeah, I had it, and run off the field.
Goes as a pick. Marcus Houston checks back in. Can't give them the dead leg here because they've got it badly outnumbered.
No, and that's not a place for a dead leg. That's when you plant that foot and cut it back inside the way he did before. But Marcus will learn more this week than at any other point in his career. Between the first and second game, especially young players, get a chance to look at themselves play at this speed. This is game speed that he's never experienced. And he'll know what to do next week.
Terrence Wood's got good bloodlines. Marcus Houston does too. His cousin joins Willie Wood in the Hall of Fame. Ken Houston, the great defensive back for the Oilers and Redskins. Juggled, and is that intercepted? Not quite. It bounced off Hollowell and into the arms of Aaron Sprague, but quickly signaling no catch.
But you know what Aaron's saying? If Terrence made the catch, I made the catch. Can't you give me one?
But did he get up and celebrate as quickly?
But when it goes this way, that's how it works.
Yep.
Something about that momentum thing, and I'm not saying that the officials intentionally make mistakes. They certainly don't. They work hard, and they, by and large, do a good job. But everybody's human, and you expect one team to make plays, and by golly, it turns out they make them, and that ball was on the ground.
Yep, good call. 3rd and 10. Pesavento swing past Houston. And it takes 5 green jerseys to bring him down, led by Amir Lowe.
That guy's going to be really good. I mean, it doesn't take any genius to see that, but I mean, this is a very fine 2-yard pickup after the catch. Watch the body control, the ball security. This is a true freshman. The ball's put away against the rib cage. It never comes away from the body. The shoulders are down. The weight is going forward all the time. This guy will be a big leaguer, and it won't be long.
Morris gets it to Davis. And they want to call a fair catch. He wants to break a long one. And he squeezes through. Near the 40, where he's hit hard after a 20-yard return. Dallas Davis can work magic for your special teams.
Yeah, and he's not 100%. Mike, what did he tell you on the field before the game?
You know, most players say, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play. He's coming off the injury. I asked him, how you feeling? He said, decent.
Well, if that's just decent, I'd love to see him full speed. He is the all-time record holder for single-season punt return average with 16.9.
This is Donald Strickland.
Another one of the fine corners for Colorado.
Teammate at the high school level in San Francisco of Terrence Wood.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. They were teammates in high school. Now they're the bookend corners here in college together.
How would you like to play a high school team with both those guys on it?
I'd run a lot.
You mean you would call running plays a lot?
Strickland had shoulder surgery in the spring, but fought back in fall camp to earn his starting job, and will make it under his own power back to the bench.
See, you get up better, you feel better when you're playing well, the momentum. I had a crushing blow when I found out that Ralphie Ford was female. It's like saying King Kong wears a skirt, but these guys are playing hard.
Really not. It's still 1,000 pounds going 25 miles an hour. Newton with time on target. Up to the 46 goes Rice, a gain of 14.
Well, we talked at the top of the game about Jay-Sean Sykes and how he's the leader of this defense. Hasn't had an outstanding game, about a handful of tackles, but his teammates said, don't worry, Jay-Sean, we'll pick up the slack for you. Newton sacked twice, only sacked 9 times all last year. Then the DB's coming up with the big plays. Terrence Wood, a couple of interceptions, so Sykes not having that big play game he's used to having, but his teammates are certainly stepping up.
Colorado State, which had so few first downs, now starting to string a few together, but they string this outside run out. The Bucks do, and Andy Peak, joined by Wood, to greet Cecil Sapp. Right in front of the Colorado bench. Not much in the way of total defense last year, just 8th in the Big 12 conference, but tonight they have really taken the running game away from Colorado State. Jay-Sean Sykes taking a breather here, replaced by Joey Johnson. It's Schomburg in motion. Newton again, hanging one up deep for Rice. Rice has the touchdown again. Not the best throw by any means, but it is the best adjustment. And it happens again to Nate Wright Jr.
And that's the 3rd time for Nate Wright. And I'm telling you, when you are not running the ball well, like Colorado State is not, there is no way a defensive back for Colorado should fight up on a run fake.
He keeps firing it up deep. Sooner or later, figures something good's going to happen if he gives Frank Rice half a chance.
Now, this thing is all over at the get-go because Wright is beat right now. The instant he hesitates, he is lost. Right there. It's over. Not a good throw. Had the throw been good, this would never have been in question. What Newton did was he's allowed Wright to catch up and forced his man Rice to make a great catch, which, fortunately for them, he did.
You've got to know the situation on both sides of the ball. Nate Wright has got to know they're not running well. The play fake was away from him as well, and he still stopped and hesitated. There's no way you should get fooled by that at this point of the game when Colorado State has not mounted any kind of running attack.
Let's be fair to Nate. This is his first start. And he's looking in the backfield, and that's an inexcusable thing for a secondary player to do. But his coach will get with him. Coach McMahon will get with him, and they'll get that corrected. But that's not going to help him for these 3 scores here today.
Nate's dad, a long-time NFL quarterback with the Vikings.
I got to say, too, if it were me, with the momentum going like it was, I think I would have had a free safety in the middle of the field. Yep,
hanging back. Yeah.
And if you want to play man, and you play man free, and let that free safety hang back there, and that kind of thing can't happen.
Exactly. How many times did they try it, too? I absolutely agree with you.
E.W. Hurst made it tough on Hollowell to get anything at all to return.
There's one other thing I'd say on that subject. If a guy, a youngster especially like Nate Wright, is getting burned, what you do is you bracket, you give him some help.
Yep.
You play a little combo, and somebody's over there to kind of take away the deep ball or take away the short route so that he's not just left on an island.
For the people out there understanding bracket and combo, it would mean that Nate Wright would stay on the outside and the receiver went inside, a linebacker would pick him up.
Right now, do you leave him alone in his thoughts, or do you go over and try and pump him back up?
No, you get with him. If you're the coach and you say, look, Nate, you're a good football player. You're going to learn from this. You got to suck it up and go back in and play right now. That's what they're telling you.
Matt Newton has tied his career high with his 3rd touchdown pass. Also did it against Nevada last year. He's got the reins within 3. And now a fired up Colorado State defense is ready to get the ball back for their offense. Houston met at the line by Vickers. And Nate is still deep.
Well, the most important thing a defensive back has to have is a short memory. Right. Nate's got to put that out of his mind until film time. And he'll learn how to do this. He's young right now. I keep saying that. This is his first time, and he's had a terrible time today. There'll be brighter days ahead, Nate. I guarantee it.
Houston turns it up near the 40. Exactly what the Bucs needed to get, 18 yards.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if it weren't for a dive by David Vickers, he'd be standing down there in the Colorado end zone. This guy does have an extra gear, don't you think, Michael?
Boy, I tell you, he looks so smooth running the ball, and then he gets in the open field, and he just shoots right by it. Boy, that was an ankle saver right there.
I'm going to get you some tapes of Gale Sayers so you can see how it looks in replay.
Now Pesavento ready to look deep. And too deep. Even the speedy Javon Green can't catch up to that one.
Well, now that was a mistake. All day it's been working to the tight end, Daniel Graham. That time Quinn Sitnewski was in there, and he was wide open across the field. Pesavento got a little greedy there, tried to get it all. He had the wide open tight end, would have had a big gain.
If only they could read coverage like we can, right, Mike?
It's really easy up here.
Wally Pipp.
I really think Colvin's got to be a little concerned about his job. Pesavento's been so impressive.
Here's Delbo, got Pesavento in. Now Houston taking the game over. Flag is down. Marcus Houston's not down until he bites off another 26-yarder.
Bill, he is, you know, the intangibles. He's so impressive. He's patient. He waits. He doesn't hit the hole at blazing speed. He lets his linemen create the block for him. Unfortunately, this one's going to come back.
Yeah.
But he really did a nice job. He'll start outside. Watch the patience. He just waits. Let the blockers get out there. Hold on. And then, boom, cuts right back. That's such a nice job of patience. A lot of times those young running backs will just run almost right into their linemen.
You're exactly
sometimes.
Right. Beautiful job by Victor Rogers, 71 on the chip block, coming down, helping his guard, Alice. Carl Alice, number 69, the right guard, bounces off, springs Houston into the open. And after that, Mike, you described it perfectly.
And it looked like we got Eric McCready for the hold.
But now it was a hold down by the end of the run.
Yeah, and Eric is known as the plumber because he's the hard-working blocking wide receiver who just comes to work every day like a blue-collar guy, so the teammates call him the plumber. But the plumber can't get his arms wrapped around folks.
Running game now over 200 yards for Colorado. Johnson, 15 carries, 112 yards. Houston, 15 carries, 88 yards. So they split it down the middle. This is Cormier. Near the 40. Upended there by Amir Lowe.
Do you think if you pulled out the stats, Bill, from last year, they might look a little reversed on running yards, rushing yardage for these teams?
Oh, I think they might be almost exactly reversed. And I keep having this flashback to Herschel Walker as a true freshman. Came in the game against Tennessee and Knoxville and had very much the same effect that Houston has had on his team. And Georgia went on to win the national championship.
2nd and 3, Houston. Really got to get him. He's hit him early. Hold on, wait for help. Doug Hill did that. Mike McKenzie was there with the finishing blow.
And I can't tell you how hard it is for a Georgia Tech man to admit that. All of that. Especially a Georgia Tech man that was the new, very uneducated head coach at Georgia Tech that year.
Didn't you describe your first experience with Herschel Walker as hearing him more than watching him run past?
Well, I heard him when he splattered my linebackers. I heard helmets flying off. And then I heard this whir as he went in the end zone.
Time runs out in the 3rd quarter. Sonny Lubick and the Colorado State Rams led early 14-0. Gave up 24 straight points. Come roaring back. We've got a 3-point game through 3 in Denver.
Mile High Stadium, 4th quarter just about to get underway. 24-21 Colorado, and good news for the Colorado fans. Cortland Johnson spent some time back in the locker room. He's been playing most of this game with a turf toe injury. He spent time in the locker room just readjusting that splint on the toe that is allowing him to stay in this game, and he is back in action, back upstairs.
Turf toe and all, 7.4 per carry, 111 yards. Takes it right through the middle here to the 31-yard line. First down, Colorado.
What a 1-2 punch this Colorado team is looking to have this year with Cortland Johnson, who's having a whale of a game, as well as Marcus Houston, who we've been talking about.
Oh, yeah, he's outgained Marcus.
Yep. Healthy competition certainly can bring out the best in all.
I'm sure he loves his little buddy, a young buddy, but he's making a statement to him, too. Hey, you're not going to just take this job.
They said they balance out their carries they have. Pesavento up the right side, throws it away, intended for Cormier. Now Johnson last year was the only back to get 100 or better against Nebraska. He got 135, in fact, then 201 in the Inside.com Bowl and 119, so his 3rd straight triple-digit rushing effort in Houston. Nearly 6 yards per carry in his collegiate debut.
Would you love to have the problem of figuring out which one to put in?
No problem here. Both.
Big problem for the Big 12 defenses this year. Johnson upended. Doug Held has had a terrific afternoon, hasn't he? Rick Kroll unable to go. He has to sit today, but he has been granted a 6-year of eligibility thanks to his mom, who plowed through NCAA red tape to figure out exactly whether he was eligible for a medical red shirt last year based on difficulty of diagnosis because of the torn rotator cuff. She pushed her case through, and Kroll, after today, eligible to come back, but held up his end pretty well. 3rd and 9. Pesavento feels the heat, fumbles it. Jamie Bennett forces the fumble, and Cortland Johnson recovers it.
Jamie Bennett, great pass rush. He and Mike McKenzie, the 2 defensive tackles, started every game together last year. They're the heart and soul of this defense, especially right there in the middle. Number 54 coming over the left guard. A nice club move. He just clubbed that old lineman right in the shoulder pad. If you're lucky, it'll go up on the side of his head, too. You'll ring his bell and you'll get a sack.
Why do you sound so happy about that?
Well, sorry, just coming out of me.
I'll tell you something else about Jamie. He's on the all-academic team for the conference. Good student.
Rams have called timeout here. Really ice the kicker. Confidence in the sophomore from Tallahassee, Mark Mariscalli. Let him try a 54-yarder in the first half. It was no good. The 36-yarder on the last play of the half. Gave the Bucks a 17-14 lead. Here comes a 53-yard.
Yeah, he's hit from 61 in practice.
58 in a high school game. So the leg strength is there. But not the accuracy this time. It was long enough that he hooked it.
Now, a lot of times when you're trying to make a long field goal, you get that extra boot in there. That's what'll happen. You get that line shot and a hook.
Look at that face. That says it all. Gary's just thinking, why did I get into this business?
Did you make a lot of faces like that?
Why did I get into this coaching business? This kid makes him from 61 in practice. I give him a shot in the game, and why can't he always deliver? Well, he's human. Gary, he did the best he could. The snap was perfect that time. They haven't been very good up until that one there.
Rams got momentum. Can they keep it? Not with blitzes like that by Sykes.
Well, that's the way they like to use Sykes. Again, try and get him freed up. Got in his face. He's had bodies on him today. That's why he hasn't been as effective. He's about 230, but he's had some offensive linemen on him. Here they put him in a position. Nobody blocks him. Makes Newton have to get rid of it, and that's a good job of finishing the tackle. You kids at home, that's what you want to do when you tackle someone. You want to land on them. Make sure you really do. That's the truth, man. You want to put all your pressure on them.
Oh, man. I got to work with you.
Cecil Sapp breaks tackles to the 44 of the Bucks. And if not for Robbie Robinson, that's the score. It's 20 yards. As this game becomes a series of momentum swings back and forth, and now the Rams within 3 and driving for at least a tie.
One of the realities about rivalries is that linemen, these big guys right here, they get tired of being pushed around and they start coming off the football. David Showett, Broderick Lancaster, Justin Bovansky doing a great job of knocking the white shirts back to get their backs in the running room. Been a long drought in the running game.
Newton's like to follow a nice run by going to the air, and he does so here for about 9 yards to Corey Woolston, Hume the H-back.
There's a play out of the Colorado playbook. The dragging the tight end across.
Of course, everybody has it. It's just a matter of when you call it and what the coverage is. You get man coverage or too deep, and it's wonderful. If you got a bunch of zoned up players back there, it's not so good.
Woolston Hume out of Nampa, Idaho. Not too many D1 players produced out of there. He has 2nd and 1. Newton, play fake. Felt the heat, let it go, and just led Pete Redstock a little bit too much.
That's what you call coordinated defense. That's the first time we've really seen big 97 Justin Bannon, who's sort of the war daddy of the defensive line, be a big factor on a play. But if he doesn't make that hit and force the errant throw by Newton, that's another touchdown.
One of the few times we've seen actually both D tackles were on either side of the center shoulder pinching in the gap. And I'll tell you what, Newton is going to use a lot of ice packs tomorrow because he is starting to get just hammered as he releases the ball.
Yeah, he's not used to being hit like this. This is a good, tough defense. Bannon about as tough as they come.
Here's 3rd and 1. And Sapp breaks arm tackles and has a first down and more inside the 30. Terrence Wood.
Well, I just talked about how the defensive tackles were pinching on the center. They did it again, but this time they stunned it. Here's your 2 D tackles, but you got a stunt coming around, and they miss it. It's a good play, but now you stunt, and he stunts right there. They missed the tackle. They stunted right out of the play.
Well, he stunted himself out of the play because Borvansky, 79, the center, did a marvelous job of keeping his feet. And he took Bannon around the ball carrier to give him space for the first down.
Sykes had him, then he didn't have it. Sapp slanting off tackle, and Sykes doesn't let go this time.
Ooh, I'll tell you, Sykes, you know what he looks like to me, Mike? He looks like Willie Lanier, the great Kansas City linebacker, also a Hall of Famer. The way he slides and moves, and it's so easy for him. He's just graceful.
And I tell you what, it means a lot when they're making a defense around you that says they're going to free you up. When that happens, there's a lot of responsibility. If you're going to be free, you've got to be able to make the tackle. He proved he could, second in the Big 12 last year in tackles, 7 forced fumbles. You see 7 tackles tonight, but that's a lot of pressure. If you're unblocked, you've got to be able to make the play.
A big guy like that, you saw that last burst of closing speed. That's the difference.
There's more fumbles than anybody in the nation last year. That's school record of 7. Newton steps away from pressure, hangs one deep to the end zone, and another near miss. An overthrow intended for Dallas Davis.
One thing that's happened because of the pressure that Newton's been subjected to today, and you can credit the big guys up front for Colorado, N1 Jones, Bannon, people like that. He has lost that uncanny accuracy on the deep ball. We started this game commenting on how incredibly accurate he was on those things. Not so anymore.
And this is a team in Colorado State gave up 9 sacks last year. Just 9 sacks.
Been sacked twice today, knocked down 6 more times. Third and 10, wide open inside the 10 to the 5 to the goal line is Ochoa. Touchdown, CSU leads. Have we seen some great calls on scoring passes today by Colorado State? I mean, almost every time, not only is the guy open, he's open by 10, 15 yards. Hurst makes it 28-24. Jose Ochoa out of Sylmar, California, has put Colorado State back in front. 300-yard game and a career-high 4 touchdown passes. And on 3 of them, there has not been a defender within 10 yards. Great calls by Lubick and Sean Watson. And the latest swing now, 14 unanswered points put up on the board by Newton and the Rams.
Robbie Robinson, another man in his first collegiate start at free safety, has man coverage right here on Ochoa. He never looks at him. It's just one of those things that happens with a young player. They're going in motion. One of his teammates is in front of him. He never sees his man until he feels him next to him, reaches out, and then it's the oh no syndrome.
Bill, you know, I know he's young. You're saying he's young, but that's fundamental football. That's a blitz. That's man coverage. You know who you have, even though he's that young. That's a bad mistake.
You're exactly right. It is a bad mistake.
Houston is the tailback. Almost hit for a loss. Pretty much by himself. He gets 4 yards out. And the Rams may get the ball out of it. They hop up signaling fumble recovery. As yet, nobody in the striped shirt has agreed. They say nope, second down.
Jamie Bennett on another hit. And I know the officials really appreciate all the assistance they get from the players at times like this in the fourth quarter of a big rivalry.
Well, they helped all they appreciated the help you gave them.
You don't have to see me and listen to me. I'll tell you what's happening now. There's just a bunch of teeth, hair, and eyeballs flying around out there. Balls coming out. People hitting people.
That's a close ball. He was down right when the ball came out. And very close.
You notice, sorry, Dave. You notice how differently the defense plays after these big plays. If you think momentum and emotion is not a major part of football, you just don't watch these shifts and ebbs and flows.
I'll tell you another thing we've seen is you see Bennett going off the field. We've seen a lot of people limping and going to the sideline today. There's some snobber knocking going on, as they say.
As who says?
I guess I'll take that one.
Passing set with 3 wides on 3rd and 4. Hollowell, that's close to a backward pass. It's not. It's incomplete.
Now, I ask you, gentlemen, do you think these guys want to win on both teams? You watch this kind of football game, and I'm telling you, this is what it's all about. Makes me want to play till I look at my leg.
The CSU home game, but they allot Colorado fans even more tickets because they're simply going to sell more. A bigger school with a bigger following, bigger home stadium.
It's almost
pretty
like,
close to split, though.
It is. Almost like Alabama-Auburn with an even split at Birmingham when they used to play there.
Good high kick. Flores makes Davis call for the fair catch. We go down to Michelle.
There's the flag, yeah.
45-yard kick and the flag because they got too close to Davis.
Yep, there's the 2-yard invisible fence there on a punt return, and it was breached.
Now down to Michelle.
Well, guys, this is Adam Wade's first game against Colorado, and he came in incented. Wade was recruited by Colorado, but he was told by Buffalo's linebackers coach Brian Cabral he might not have what it takes to play college linebacker. And how does Wade really feel about Colorado? He said their linebackers carried themselves as if they were the gods of Colorado football, and I don't look at myself as better than someone else. Can you relate to that, Mike Golick?
Well, I tell you what, you could. There's always a little extra incentive in a situation like you play hard all the time, but in a situation like this, the fire burns a little more deep. Michelle, you are absolutely right.
Now 9:13 to go. The ball in the lead for Colorado State. Will Lane goes up the right side. They'll mark him out with a gain of 12 and a first down.
And you get a sense of why Sonny Lubick was so pleased about the depth at his wide receiver. We kept saying, well, what if Dallas Davis is hurt? And he had been hurt. They didn't know if he was going to play. He said, we got so many good receivers, I'm really not worried. And now we see why. Man after man after man makes big play, routine play, whatever they need.
Will Lane starting because of a great camp ahead of Pete Rebstock, who was his second leading receiver a year ago. He's gotten his blows in as well. Cecil Sapp most of the way here in the second half. He's cut down to the open field by Andy Deep.
Big difference here you're going to see is normally Colorado State with a good running game would start to try and burn the clock with the run. They haven't been running too well. They'll mix them in some, but Bill, they'll use that short passing game, which is just like a running game, but that's what they're going to have to resort to.
It's way too early to get too conservative when you really haven't run the ball very well. Pete and Sykes have kind of eaten them up in the running game when they have been able to get past the big guys up front, which hasn't been all that often.
Ochoa, a hero of the moment with a go-ahead touchdown, went in motion. They come after Newton. He still has time to spot Davis. And Nate Wright Jr. wouldn't let him out of his sight here.
That was a beautiful play by Nate Wright.
Following our conclusion here on ESPN2, we send you to the Arizona-Utah matchup. Ortiz Jenkins and the Wildcats against the Utes immediately following Colorado and Colorado State. We welcome those of you who have been watching the first half of Southern Miss Tennessee. Dave Barnett, Bill Curry, Mike Golick, Michelle Tafoya, Mile High Stadium in Denver. And easily the best of the three that these two have played here at the home of the Broncos. Last two were blowouts. This has been a treat. Flags before the snap. The Rams led 14-0. Colorado led 24-14, and now two more unanswered touchdowns to put CSU back on top.
Dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Nate Wright could have gotten cautious and feeling sorry for himself out there. He broke on that ball, Mike, and made an authoritative hit in the open field in a situation where it would have been another touchdown had he missed. That is encouraging for a young defensive back.
Well, you said it, as a cornerback, you have to have a very, very short memory. He forgets about it, and he's coming back to make some plays.
Buffaloes have all three of their timeouts. 7 minutes, 56 seconds to go. And they have 6 defensive backs. And Sykes, the only linebacker, waiting for this 1st and 15.
Certainly this is when needs Sykes to get one of those big plays that he's known to make.
Yeah, this is what Vince Okru is talking about, his dime package. If you take one of those backers out, why not take them both out and leave the big guy in the middle?
Cecil Sapp. For maybe two. Michael Lewis, Medford Moore, two of those 6 DBs combined for the tackle.
Well, when you're a player everybody's gunning for, this happens to you sometimes. 1, 2, you become a pinball a little bit. Can't make every play.
They had a whole offseason to scheme so they could get blockers on Jashawn, and they have done it. And you better, he'll make every play.
His coach, Brian Cabral, who should know, he played with him, because the guy he reminds him of is Mike Singletary, who's their teammate back in the 80s. Sapp trying the other way. Inside the 40, third and long coming. Another sure tackle by Nate Wright Jr. Fighting back from the adversity. 3 touchdowns allowed.
Have you ever seen eyes like Singletary?
Never.
Even Butkus didn't look at you like that. Sean's got a good start on it. He got a ways to go to catch up with Singletary, but he'll get there.
Oh, yeah, he sure does. He said he wanted to play within the scheme a little more this year. Last year,
yep, there's the ball right there. That's his coach.
Still out there with the 6 DBs, 3rd and 7. Under 6.5 minutes. Newton to Ochoa. Hit down immediately. End of drive. Michael Lewis. Much better tackling that series by the Bucs. End of drive unless they decide to go for it here. The decision being made to kick it away. Timeout, 6:04 remaining. Their second half timeouts, and Colorado State had already decided they wouldn't go for it on 4th and 7. They had already said Joey Huber and the punt team out. Got one inside the 20. Roman Hollowell was right at the 10.
Absolutely the right thing to do. Establish a deep field position for Colorado.
Almost a high snap. Got a man down there. And it's at the 3 where it's killed. Can't do it much better than that. Can you?
Nope, a brilliant kick, and you think that kid's not happy? He's so happy to have delivered for his football team. First time he's been in a college game of any description, and it won't get any bigger than this in his life.
Rhett Nelson.
And I tell you, a great job. You practice this all the time. What I don't understand is on the Colorado side, you have your guys out on the flyers. You know that's what they're going to do. You've got to block those guys a little longer so they can't do it. Here's this kid's first start.
You can't do that, Mike, because if you block them very long, the ball may hit you and you end up losing the ball. So you have to pull those guys off about the 15-yard line because they don't know where the football is.
97 yards away. Pesavento starts it with a strike. Short yardage for John Minardi, and he gets the stop of the clock. They had 2 timeouts, 5:50 to work with.
And coming off the 3-yard line, Mike, you can't go conservative. What a nice call right there. Coming off the goal line, set up and throw the short pass. Very smart by Sean Watson, the play caller for the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm impressed. You got to wing it here and go try to win the game. You're making a statement to your team for the season, not just this game.
Same thing, and Minardi's got the first down.
Yes, sir. That's trying to win the football game, not trying to just see if we can pound it out of here, because they're not going to let you pound it out.
And right now, they're taking exactly what Colorado State's giving them. Colorado State's playing off. They have that 4-point lead. They're playing off a bit. This is sometimes what I don't understand with defenses. Go with what got you there. You attack sometimes. They played off twice. Colorado took advantage of it. I'd like to see Colorado State start attacking again.
I think Colorado State needs to stay back and play a little zone, because you got Green out there and you got those other burners, and they sure don't want to give up a big one.
Which Adam Wade last time came with him again, and the pass incomplete over the middle for Cedric Cormier.
What I'm trying to say, Mike, is that I think you're wrong.
We're going to agree to disagree on that one. I always love a defense that attacks it, that forces the offense to try and do something. They've attacked sometime this game, played back sometime, and a lot of times at this point of the game when you have a lead, you see a defense back off, in my opinion, too much. I would think Colorado State would still want to mix it up.
Make them go the length of the field and force a mistake on a tackle or a fumble.
Wade coming again. They pick him up. Hollowell. The 5'6", 160-pounder fights his way to the 28. First down, 14 yards.
Now, seriously, Mike, what we had there was a blitz, which allowed Hollowell to be in man coverage, and he easily beat his man coverage, and they got a reasonably big gain. And so, sincerely, I think that's the reason that you don't want to take those chances.
Gary Barnett in danger of going 0-2 against the in-state rival. Pesavento, Javon Green, who's got a touchdown for himself today. Jeff Brow prevents the first down and keeps him inbound, so the clock will run down to 5 minutes.
We studied film yesterday, Dave. We saw Javon just eat up a great Nebraska team in the fourth quarter. He's the guy that they're likely thinking of trying to go to, number 19 right down there, who can give you the big play and go the distance. And I think that big tight end, Graham, is another guy that'll figure in here.
Match up to watch. Green against Gallimore. And again, first down, stops the clock. Pesavento has been masterful so far.
Green is a great, he was a preseason, he's Bolitnikoff in the running for that as the top receiver, and that time Colorado State played off in that zone. They're just taking advantage of it. They're doing it smart. Get the ball into the receiver's hands, let them get some yards after they catch it.
Exactly, and the defensive thinking here is you don't lay off so much that you give them long gains, and you come up and you try to knock the ball loose. Good judgment there by Javon to step out of bounds.
Another short drop and pass, and Minardi slipped one tackle but manages to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's just impossible to do anything but keep your eyes riveted to the middle of the field. And this is the last college football game played here at Mile High Stadium. The guys that are working on the new stadium can't concentrate on the riveting.
There you are, man. There you are. 3 retired football coaches right there. There you are. The future of football coaches.
Well, I tell you what, they keep standing there watching.
Such a wonderful business.
You might be playing the game here next year. The stadium won't be done.
The real question is their boss watching? 2nd and 9. Pesavento sacked. Chad McGuckin.
And there was a mix-up there somewhere because he came unblocked. Whenever a defensive end comes unblocked, somebody messed up.
Protection error.
It looks great in the box scores, the sack, but he's right down here. There he is, coming free, nobody blocking him.
Okay, the right tackle, in this case, Victor Rogers and Daniel Graham, the tight end, had those two guys, and they blew the pickup, just plain and simple, allowing the sack and the long yardage situation.
Game about a tripleheader about to come up here on ESPN2. Arizona and Utah about to get underway, and we'll get you out there just as soon as the Rams and Buffs are done, guys.
That'll be a while. Buffs just called their next to last timeout. Lubick has his defense ready for 3rd and 12. Pesavento has time, fires, almost intercepted by Rhett Nelson. Intended for Minardi.
Went to the well one too many times with the fade pattern, and it was probably called on the sideline. Sonny probably got him over there, and Larry Kerr said, you know this guy loves to throw that fade. He throws it well. So, Nelson, you drop off and be sure you're in that position. Don't let it happen.
Going right for the hole, trying to find the hole. Brett Nelson surely closed it quickly.
He hangs on, game.
This could be ball game. 4th and 12. Pesavento steps up, keeps it. Short of the first at the 49. John Powell chases him down.
And one of the few really poor decisions by Pesavento all day today. Pesavento came bolting out of there, Michael, with his 4.8 speed, maybe 4.9. He is not going to make the first down. You just got to stand in there and find somebody. You're better off to take the sack than to pull it down and try to run for the first when you got no chance.
Gary Barnett, the most surprised if not distraught guy on the field. He can't believe Pesavento tucked and ran. They were looking for some way to pick up the 12 yards better than what he decided to do. And now Sapp keeps that pile moving. First down gain of 11.
Now, understand what went on there. What we have been talking about, Bill, you and I disagreeing on either blitz or don't blitz. On the third down play, they went in the zone. They went your way, didn't do the blitz. And then the last play, they did blitz. So the one thing we did talk about, hey, mix it up a little bit, and they did. They came to the blitz, but I agree with you. Pesavento pulls it down. He's got to throw the ball. He can't run with it. He's got to find somebody to lay it up to.
They mixed it in. What happened is the defensive front got him pressured, got him rattled, and caused him to run out of there. And that's what happens. You get man blocking. That's what you big guys love on the blitz.
Absolutely.
Justin Bannon was down, and it looked like they have to pay a lot of attention to him. And as soon as the traders get out there, he hops right back up. But for this play, at least, replaced by Sam Kaulealea.
There's still time here. Colorado's got to come up big on defense. Your big playmakers have got to step up.
Colorado State cannot afford to simply hand the ball off and give it back to them, even with bad field position. They should have enough confidence in Matt Newton to throw the dinks and the dunks and do whatever it takes to keep this ball and run this clock out.
He's winding the snap clock down to 3 before he gets to Sapp.
Unless you can make 7 yards a carry. With Bannon out of there, they've got a better shot at that. Jashawn missed the tackle. Now he's coming off. This does not look good for Colorado as the guys are limping off. The two toughest players on the defensive unit, arguably, just left the game in successive plays.
What happens a lot of times when you want to make that stop, you do the run blitz. You try and make some penetration, but on a run blitz, everybody's on the line. As soon as you break through, there's nobody there. Sykes is in the middle. He's going to blitz. If he doesn't make the play, there's no one in the middle of the field, and that's right where Sapp runs.
Yeah, and there was a defensive error because John A. came in the A-gap with him, and he shouldn't have been there.
Joey Johnson in for Sykes. Sapp all of a sudden finds all kinds of space, and the Bucks are left with only trying to strip it. Cecil's not having any of it.
Well, we've been raving about the Buffalo backs. I like this Sapp guy. He runs low and hard. He's determined, and he also takes care of that football. The most important thing in this situation for the green shirts.
Let me tell you what's going on now. Those offensive linemen for Colorado State are patting each other on the back. They average.
First down, Sapp. A foot race, and he wisely, rather than turning the corner, slides to a halt, keep the clock going.
First game of the year, you almost never see a back that smart. Wonderful, Mr. Sapp. Wonderful. Get on the ground and keep that thing moving. Yes, sir, you get a blow right here at this 5,000 feet. That oxygen's hard to come by. Watch this. Folks, this is smart football. Get on that ground. Do not go out of bounds, and the clock keeps right on rolling. They can run it out now.
We'll watch Rashawn Sanders take it over. Play clock at 2. Reverse Rebstock. Waiting for him, Ronnie Robinson. And with Robbie's tackle, the timeout, the last of the game, called by the Bucks with 53 seconds.
Well, that's getting a little cute there, huh, Coach?
I do not like that. I do not think it's smart to have a ball handling situation with some risk involved when you've got the game in hand. I don't think that was a good call.
I mean, that is a very high risk. Easy to hand the ball off or try that weird little handoff on the reverse.
Yeah, this is a series 53-16, 2 ties, favor of Colorado and Sonny Lubick now 2 years in a row. Not the blowout it was last year, but does it again, it looks like.
If he doesn't drop it on this reverse thing, I mean, I think Sonny's a great football coach.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how wonderful the job is he's done at Colorado State, but that was a bad decision to try a reverse and risk that ball handling.
He certainly has brought this program up into the Mountain West first year last year, a share of the title, and really onto the national scene.
Before he arrived 8 years ago, they'd been to a total of 2 bowls.
In history.
They've been to 4 with Sonny Lubick.
4 in 6 years.
Including the Liberty last year as the Mountain West champions.
And he's been coach of the year in his conference 3 times. And he's a gentleman. And some of the garbage that's flown around here is beneath him. He actually sort of laughed at it, which was the right thing to do. And it's nice to see him have this success.
Think the reverse is coming?
I don't think so.
Sanders to the 25. And the Buffaloes can't do a thing to stop the clock.
Well, as I said a moment ago, before I was so rudely interrupted by the reverse, they could have run the clock out simply by taking a knee. And when you can do that, that's what you need to do.
A terrific game.
Well, here they can take the knee because if it would be a change of possession and Colorado would get one more shot.
Play clock has expired, so the flag will come.
They'll add a few seconds to the clock as well. Now, what do you do here, Coach? You
take a knee.
Take it.
They have no timeout.
But they change of possession. It's
run
fourth
around
down.
5 seconds.
Can you run around for 5 seconds, take it back, and run backwards? You certainly don't try a field goal.
Either way, yeah, you don't kick the ball. That's good, very good, Mike. You don't try a reverse. You run around until the clock runs out. See, technically what should have been done, and it's easy to say after it happens, they should have snapped the ball just before the clock ran down.
I think there's going to end up being about 9 seconds on the clock. Can you run around for 9 seconds?
Yeah. I mean, no, you can run around for 4 or 5 seconds. You just got to know when to get on the ground.
There's no penalty. There should be 1 second on the play clock, 9 seconds on the game clock.
How'd you know that, Mike?
Well, Colorado State called timeout. I saw Newton call timeout with 1 second to go on the play clock, and I saw 9 seconds on the game clock. I got that peripheral vision working going on right now.
Alec Hawkins called that perennial vision.
Oh.
You got good perennial vision.
So now 9 seconds. That's a little longer to run around. You do that and you go down. Time doesn't run out. You give Colorado a Hail Mary pass.
They get a chance at a Hail Mary pass here. You're exactly right.
Wildcats and the Utes. As soon as we complete these last 9 seconds, they're underway. No score so far. Rams scored early here. Went up 14-0. Barnett and the Buffalo storm back 24 unanswered points to lead 24-14, and 14 right back from Newton, who has 4 touchdown passes, a career high, 19 of 30, 327 yards. They've been outgained by Colorado, 504, 390, but they're 1 snap away from beating them for the 2nd year in a row.
What a fantastic game. After this one, everybody should really get together and shake hands and say great game, because it was. Really interested to see how Colorado State's going to burn some time here.
Portland Johnson carried 121 yards, 17 carries.
So you can do a straight handoff. You can do a sweep, have them run wide and slide down before you get out of bounds. That way you burn more time off the clock.
You do not hand the ball off. You let your quarterback run around. You step up and max protect. And then when a white jersey gets close to him without running too far back, he gets on the ground. That clock is going up.
Yeah, it's going to 11.
If they wait any longer, that thing's going to be 20 seconds, and then Colorado State's in trouble. They're going to have to play another play of defense.
Yep.
Hands it off. Sanders with 7 seconds for the Hail Mary.
Well, I just say again, on the reverse and on that last handoff, I think it makes a lot more sense to not involve ball handling when the ball can go on the ground. There have been so many instances when that thing bounces up crazy and people pick it up and run the other way.
Now let's go to this situation. 7 seconds. Is there time enough for an out route of 10 or so yards to make your Hail Mary just a little shorter, or do you have to go the Hail Mary right now?
I think you got a better shot, because you may get tackled in bounds, to hope you can get 2 Hail Marys in.
It's possible. If they do an out route, I would do it to the short side, which would be the top of the field.
Correct. Very good.
Well, you got 3 defensive backs stretched out beyond midfield. As Pesavento is hit as he delivers, and Roman Hollowell makes the catch in midfield, but time has expired, And Colorado State, after absorbing 8 straight losses to their rivals from Boulder, has put together back-to-back wins. Our final in Denver, 28-24 Colorado State. From Michelle Tafoya, Bill Curry, and Mike Golick. Dave Barnett saying so long from Mile High Stadium. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Right now, we send you to Arizona, Utah, March.